Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast.
Colarulo, of course, if you listen to yesterday's show, gets a big promotion to the afternoon show. Good morning, Ray.
Good morning. How are you,
How's
Mike?
it feel to be in that seat today?
Feels good. Feels like I should have a kind bar right here. I did do a little bit of notes so everyone didn't feel out of place. So I didn't get a legal
you
pad.
got a yellow pad?
Yeah, I didn't get the yellow pad.
Okay.
But I got a little bit of notes so everyone didn't feel out of place. I know I look so much more muscular than the guy that usually sits in this seat. So
You do. You dress better, too. Your shirts fit better.
It does fit me.
Yeah. So, anyway, for people who didn't know, that's what the change of the new show is. But we carry on and kind of do the same thing here. So yesterday, we'll talk about the Phillies game and how they obliterated the Toronto Blue Jays last night with Trey Turner. Everybody loves to hate. Well, he can't play shortstop. He about 3 hits and 2 home runs last night. Bone with a 4-hit night. Sanchi, 6 innings pitched, gave up 4 hits, 1 run. But here comes the big night, Mick Abel tonight. And I have this sneaky suspicion that he's not going to find the same success that he found. I don't want to start off negative, but invariably the second start he lose something from the initial newness of start one. So now if they lose, it doesn't really matter. It's one game of 162. But I heard the morning guys talk about Mick Abel and his impact for the rest of the year. I don't see much of an impact, but the only thing we can hope for today is that he pitches well again, so the trade value stays prominent.
Yeah, I've been pretty clear. My biggest impact, I think, for him the rest of the way is what he ends up fetching at the trade deadline. I got a friend of mine pretty upset the other day when I was saying, oh, yeah, he's going to look great in an Orioles uniform, and I've been making that joke to pretty much anyone that will listen to it, and at some point it loses a little bit of its luster. I'm kind of sick of making the joke at this point. But my friend got upset, was like, what do you mean? Look, he could be a piece for you going forward. I was like, yeah, the piece he is for you is getting you the piece that you want. Like, to me, this is a big start for him tonight because I just want to keep him to keep showing what he can be to teams. And while you say there's a chance that he has that step back, I can see it when you go 6 innings, you strike out 9 guys, you don't allow a run, and people say you outduel Paul Skeens in your debut. I think the only logical step is backwards. It's just how far backwards that goes against this Blue Jays lineup, which last night, Christopher Sanchez, again, through pretty much 5 innings, had it. He goes 6, but he gets you through what you need in that start. I do see Abel putting together another nice start, but I think to put the bar at what we saw at the beginning would be unfair to him.
This game is an even money game tonight, so they're giving him a little bit of credit. Normally against Berrios, the Blue Jays would be a slight favorite, but he's getting a little credit. So we'll see what happens tonight. But the Phillies' first inning, man, against that poor Bowden Francis, he gave up 7 runs and 7 hits in an inning and a third. Stott with a 4-pitch walk right out of the chute, a 4-pitch walk to Bryson Stott. Turner home run, Harper home run. Later on in the inning, Kepler an RBI single, and then Stott as they turn the lineup over with another big hit and 2 RBIs, and it's 6-0. That's the ball game. And the only blip won this game last night was Max Lazar. He gave it up, but not important because it's Max Lazar, right?
Yeah,
Not a big deal.
This will be the 2 weeks of our life we remember Max Lazar.
Yes.
I can't imagine he's here through the next bullpen reshuffle.
Right. So we'll talk a little bit about that. There was a story that was really interesting that was written about Saquon Barkley. It was written kind of in a fantasy football mode, but it really applies to running backs that have a great year and then drop off the year after that. This is an interesting phenomenon because you got a new offensive coordinator who probably wants to make the transition painless and follow the same offensive script that was so successful last year. And yet, there's a lot of people that key on the running back after you have a year like that, and it's really difficult, as the stats would indicate, it's really difficult to replicate another year like that. So my question is, and I'm not sounding an alarm here, these are just issues you have to throw out there to discuss. If they plan on the same offensive attack, Barkley-centric, and he has a down year, how does that affect the Eagles' offense?
Tremendously. I mean, I think you're looking at this the right way because you can't expect to give him 400-plus touches again this season. That's what you relied on last year. You love the offensive line that you have, but it also puts a premium on the backup running back spot, which they tried to address with A.J. Dillon, who I don't think is that going to be a big piece for them. I think coming off of, you can't bank on a guy that came off of a season in which he was mostly injured. Will Shipley in year 2, is that like your answer there? Like, I don't think you can bank on a 400 carries or 400 touches for Saquon Barkley again this season, which means, well, like A.J. Brown said in the middle of the season, what do you have to work on? You have to work on the passing. They can't have such a stark difference between rushing the ball and passing the football again this season. And you go through the 2,000-yard rushers season to season. It's not like all of them fell off a cliff and only had 500 yards the next season, but a lot of them was like 800 less rushing yards, 900 less rushing yards. That's just the nature of it. You could still be a 1,000-yard rusher, have a solid season if you're Saquon Barkley, but you're not going to be the level of difference maker year in and year out that he was last year. It's just how truly special it was.
He might be superhuman, and the rest of the people I'm going to compare him to right now are not superhuman. But DeMarco Murray, classic example, 2014, got 436 touches, and then went down to 193. His finish in the fantasy was RB2, and then he finished that year RB15. Eddie George, 2000, 431 touches. He went down to 315 the next year. He went from RB3 to RB21. Sean Alexander, remember him? Oh, my God, did he fall off a cliff. 430 touches to 302. He went from RB1 to RB30. And then Larry Johnson, Penn Stater, who was nuts anyway, 429. Did he die? Larry Johnson? Is he still alive?
I believe he is still alive.
He is still alive? That's the voice of Austin Jones who's producing today. Larry Johnson.
Still alive.
Okay, that's my bad then. 429 touches to 158, RB3 to RB40. And then there was Jamal Lewis and Corey Dillon and Edgerrin James and Curtis Martin and Arian Foster and Amon Green. We remember all these backs that carried a monster load of 400 touches. And then the next year, they went completely downhill.
And some of these guys, you look at, still got 300-something touches, over 200-something touches, and just looking at where they ended up, the volume, they weren't as productive with that volume the next year. Now, you mentioned Saquon Barkley. I think the one thing that you would say would play to his favor are two things: the way he takes care of himself, and also the offensive line that he's playing behind. That'll play to him to, 2 yards before contact last season. That was something just unreal that helped him out. Assuming you have health across the board there, that helps him out. It's just hard to assume health for a running back that went over 430 touches this season.
You can never predict it because I assume that all these guys that have 400-plus touches that were so successful also have pretty good offensive line.
Right. Also, that's a DeMarco Murray season. Does he go after that year? Is that the next year in Philadelphia where he ended up being
when did he get here?
He was
2015?
15, right?
Yeah.
He was a part of that just utter...
So 2014 was the big year. And that's right, because it was so shocking that Dallas peddled him.
Yeah.
At that point. They knew something that we didn't.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll talk about all these issues. Austin, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How
right?
you feeling today, Mike?
What do you got up your sleeve today? Anything?
I got some good stuff for News at Noon going on later on today. We'll get to it.
All right. We also have some Vic Fangio leftovers. He said more than we originally thought, right? When you look at it, he said a lot. So in any event, this is the day one of no Bill.
Yeah.
So
even though Bill's walking around here right now.
He couldn't stay away. He had to wander through.
No. I honestly thought he was just giving me the tap. Like, all right, you know what? He's probably got excited about something he saw with Sirianni. Probably heard them on the morning show talking about that Sirianni-Hurts duo list that was out on Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
He probably got a little excited, wanted to come in and talk about it.
I got to be honest, he wasn't as enthusiastically greeting that he usually is. I think he's now. He had the star glide with him this morning. Did you notice that?
He's got a little bit of an all-business type of approach, it seems.
Yeah, little star glide already he's got.
It's a little pre-Missanelli of him, where he was just all business. You brought the fun out of him. Now it seems like he's taking the fun away.
What are you going to do?
Right.
I turn him into stars, and then they forget about me.
It was tough. He walked right by.
He did walk right by me.
There was no fist bump for you.
No fist bump, no nothing.
Kind of strange.
It was. 610-632-0975 is how you come in. Well, that's the way it goes in this business. What are you going to do? It's the Mike Missanelli Show. We're back after this.
Philadelphia Union Soccer.
.14, Mike Missanelli Show. All right, you got also the NHL Finals begin tonight, where a Canada team is trying to win its first cup in, 32 years? Is it 32 years?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Are you going to be zeroed in on that, Ray?
You know I'm going to be locked in.
I know you'll be locked in. And then, of course, tomorrow the NBA Finals begin. But the shocking news in the NBA that hit yesterday. Yeah, man.
Are you going to be all right?
This is unbelievable. Tom Thibodeau fired because I don't know why. They lost to Indiana. I guess that's reason enough. You should probably beat Indiana to get to the NBA Finals. They fire him, but he had taken that team to a greater height than they had been to in a long time. I was listening to some people this morning. My buddy Isola, who was up in New York, and he said they just couldn't wait to fire him. Like they were almost hoping to lose to Boston so they could fire him a little more painlessly.
That would have been even worse if they lose to fire him after losing to Boston. Like you built that team to beat Boston, you did end up doing it, but that's the reigning champions. You lose to them, I would have understood that more.
There's something that he does that rubs the million people that run the Knicks the wrong way, and I guess it was playing the guys too long, and then they got caught with their pants down when they had to play some guys on their bench. They really weren't prepared to go with them. It was almost like desperation. But here's the irony of this: he gets fired. The Sixers, who for one of the worst seasons in the history of basketball, they make no moves whatsoever. And on top of that, Ray, Daryl Morey is producing a musical.
I didn't put this
What
on
the hell is going on in this world? He's producing a musical. Does he keep his job? He's got some musical that he's producing.
Yeah, small ball, small results.
Small ball, a musical featuring 6-inch players.
I'm shocked you weren't invited to the premiere. I would have assumed that we would have been invited.
What the hell is going on in this world?
Hey.
Daryl, God, send me a ticket for opening night.
If the whole Sixers thing doesn't work out,
I mean, good.
He's got another career to go to.
Are you kidding me, man? What
Produce
stuff
musicals.
that happens? The guy from Denver gets zipped. The New York Knicks guy gets zipped. Daryl Morey keeps his job and produces a musical like nothing ever happened.
Yeah. Well, I think he was probably inspired. He was like, you know who's pretty great? That Mike Missanelli on The Fanatic. Talking to him, he's done so many different things. He went into the crime podcast space. He's done a cooking show. He's done a game show. He's like, I got to diversify. If I want to be a legend in Philadelphia, I got to go do something else. Let me go write a musical and diversify a little bit.
Well, here's the difference. My career, my team career, the record wasn't 4-72 like his.
Hey, all he does is win. All he does is win. Just ask him.
Come on, Daryl. Really, after a season like that, now we got to have a musical on our face?
Well, that's a great question, because if you're writing the musical and you have a target date for it to start, after this season, would you say, you know what, I've put so much work into this, but the time and place is probably not the right time to push out the musical for the audience that would come? Like, where do you release that? Because releasing it here after this season feels like, time and place, kind of a mistake. Do you push off the musical? Do you release it in a different city?
Hold on one second.
Like L.A.?
I got to get into this just a little bit. Daryl Morey, let's read this story. Daryl Morey recently sat inside Philadelphia's theater company's rehearsal space and openly laughed. Even though he had seen the material being presented numerous times during the past decade plus, he was watching the musical Small Ball, a passion project the 76ers president of basketball operations has helped shepherd through a lengthy development process. Now he is commissioning and co-producing a full production at PTC, anchored by a cast and creative team with Broadway and off-Broadway credits alongside standouts from Phillies theater scene. The show begins performances at the Suzanne Roberts Theater on Friday before a June 11 opening night. And here's his quote. It's pretty magical. Why does this crack me up? I was just lucky that my first time, really only time doing this, we hit on a draft pick, and I laughed my ass off behind every time I come. The cast, when I came once, was like, I can't believe you're the one laughing. You've seen it the most. Right. Can I stomach this? Like, can you stomach this? Can you stomach it?
You can't stomach the fact he's still in town. I can't imagine you'd be able to stomach him enjoying it.
They call the absurdist comedy, quote unquote, deliciously weird, which I would call his tenure as the 76ers general manager.
I need to know if they have a show draft night. Like, are we gonna have a draft pick called in from the Philadelphia Theater Company? He's sitting there watching the play, like, oh yeah, go ahead, take Bailey. All right. Let me know if there's anything else going on.
It stars Quentin Grimes and Justin Edwards on opening night.
All right, now I'm in on that. Let's go see the Justin Edwards show.
That.
It's just the time.
Jared McCain is in charge of makeup production. Oh, my God.
That costume.
Jared McCain painting everybody's nails before they go on stage.
So what's it? Small Ball is the name of this?
I can't stand it. Come on, man. Small Ball.
All right, Small Ball musical. Let's see. These are the type of things I thought we would get invited to. I mean, I'm not shocked we didn't get invited.
It's the island of Lilliput.
Oh, yeah.
Which is from Gulliver's Travels. Has a basketball team of players who stand 6 inches tall and signed a human-sized man who's named Michael Jordan.
So is this...
come on.
Is this a remake of Space Jam?
I don't know, man.
So wait, they have if you want to really get in the mood on draft day, they have a 1:00 show on draft day, and then you can watch the draft that night, and then you could go the next night for round 2. Maybe I now have plans June 25th.
Listen, I can't handle it. I really at this stage. The NBA Finals are coming up. Thibodeau gets fired. Morey keeps his job. He's got a musical. This is too much for me to absorb at once. So let's take a break, and we'll come back. We have our phone calls. We have Greg and Silver on hold. We'll talk about this. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones, and this is your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies snapped their 4-game losing streak as they beat the Toronto Blue Jays last night 8-3. Trey Turner hit 2 home runs, and Bryce Harper happened to return to the lineup and proceeded to hit a home run in his first at-bat. Christopher Sanchez went 6 innings, allowing 1 run, and won his 5th game on the year. Tonight, Mick Abel is on the mound for his 2nd career start, and hopefully he can have some of that same mojo he had from his first career start against the Pirates, where he went 6 scoreless innings and 9 strikeouts. First pitch is set for 7:07. And as we know, the Eagles lost some key players at the edge position this offseason, and yesterday Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio spoke about how he feels about a couple of players.
I feel good about Nolan. I think we'll feel good about Jalix, now that he's going to get a lot of reps and develop. He played good for us down the stretch last year and played a lot, as you saw. I feel good about those 2 guys, and I think they'll continue to improve.
Alrighty, so we'll see how they do. I'm Austin Jones on your home for the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Yeah, I'm losing my edge.
10:26, Mike Missanelli show. I you tweak me now with this musical. Well, now I can't stop thinking about the concepts. So, I already had Jared McCain in charge of makeup for this production. But Dawood on the chat has Embiid as the cowardly lion. That's not right.
Not me.
That is not right. I got Kelly Oubre, where he shows up on stage all bruised up, but the storyline never pursues why. Robert Drummond as the anti-Princess Bride giant, where he's just the useless giant. He's just on stage. Paul George doesn't have a role, but his groin does. His groin is actually into play. Tyrese Maxey as the best actor in the play, but he has no lines whatsoever. Yabusele as the French chef, who scares everybody in the kitchen. And then finally, you got Lonnie Walker IV, as in this play will show 4 times before it's canceled.
Sounds great. Coming soon.
I got 1 million of them.
Coming soon.
Enjoy the veal. Be here all week.
What's the name of the play? What's the name of your play?
The name of the play. What's the name of his play?
Small Ball.
Small Ball? That's the name of the Sixers play. How about No Ball? That's it. It's No Ball, the play. But orchestrated produced by Daryl Morey. Oh, that's classic. All right, let's get to the phones. We got some phone calls early on. We'll start with our leadoff hitter. Of course, he is the venerable Greg from Bethlehem. Hold on a second, Greg. Here we go. I got my right mouse. Greg, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Greg?
Hey, you got to have the right mouse.
Get your hands off your mouse, Greg. Let's go.
Hey, I'm not at all enamored with Daryl Morey's new endeavor, but, I'm wondering, have we seen the best of Aaron Nola?
Maybe. Well, you pick on Nola. You're just a Nola picker.
Well, I like when he plays well. He's just been inconsistent. I mean, he was inconsistent before the injury.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I like Nola, and I root for him, but he's got this complex delivery. He wasn't great before the injury. I don't expect he's going to come back being great. Let's say, just hypothetically, he continues to struggle. They're going to have a plethora of starting pitching when Painter comes up, assuming everything pans out. What do you think they're going to do?
Nola will be in the rotation, Greg. Trust me, they're not going to do anything with Nola. They'll trust him. Yeah, listen, they've trusted him before. He's come through. He's been erratic sometimes, but he's a veteran pitcher who knows how to pitch. There's not really anything else you could do with him but make him a starting pitcher. They don't have any leeway to do anything with him. They've signed him to a big contract.
Yeah, I mean, I guess let's say he was not signed to a big contract. Just again, it's a fantasy, but would that make a difference?
Well, what would you want to do with him? Release him?
Well,
I'm trying to figure out what your aim is here. What you want to do with Nola? You really can't do much with him. He doesn't. He isn't on the last year of a contract. He's got a long-term deal. He's a bona fide starting pitcher who's had experience in the postseason. They're not going to do anything with him.
Well, the hypothetical was if he continues to struggle.
If he continues to struggle, all right, Greg, you're the GM. He continues to struggle. What are you doing with him?
Well, I guess if the contract was no object, I would buy him out.
But the contract is an object. That's what I'm asking you. What will you do with him? He continues to struggle. What are your options?
Well, let's say they could write the check to get rid of him.
They're going to write a $100 million check. Come on. They're not going to write a $100 million check.
No, that's true.
I don't know, Greg. I don't know. I think you've hit a wall here on Aaron Nola. You just got to hope that he pitches better. There's not much more you can do in the thought process with Aaron Nola, is there, Ray?
No, I don't think there's much else you can do there. I think just and also happy birthday, Aaron Nola. Well, baseball.
It's his birthday?
Yeah.
How old is he now?
He is now 32.
32?
Age 32.
Still young enough to be an adequate pitcher.
And I think the question he poses originally of have you seen the best from Aaron Nola? If you want to say that his 20s, that 6-7 year stretch where he made over 200 starts, gave you 1,200 innings, and was one of the best pitchers in baseball at that time, most consistent pitchers in baseball if you want to go in that time. Yeah, if you want to say that's his best, you were paying him for the front load of this contract. So I understand people when he's sitting here with the 6 ERA and the horrible start to the season he has, not pitching right now because he's hurt. If you want to say, yeah, you've probably seen the best of him, yeah, okay. If he's still a mid-3s ERA guy for you over the next couple of seasons, this year I think the number's already shot, but I think
He's going to be adequate.
yeah, he's going to give
Be
you
adequate enough.
and you don't know. I know a lot of people. I've seen this float out the last couple of days on social media. People are like, well, that's why you couldn't have given Nola the contract at the time because you had Abel, you had Painter coming up, and you now blocked. You've made this so guaranteed that Abel's going to get traded. You've seen one game from Mick Abel. We are so fascinated with the new that we forget what you've had. And I mentioned those numbers of what you had with him. He's been a staple of consistency for you in that rotation. Where every fifth day he takes the ball and he gives you an opportunity to win a baseball game. I get frustrated when he gives up a home run too. I'm not sitting here saying I don't sit here like, oh man, another one over the fence. But really, even last season where people were livid with him with the home run ball, it was still a mid-3s ERA. There are teams across baseball that would kill for a guy that's going to pick up the ball for 200 innings and give you mid-3s ERA throughout an entire season. Like, that's why I don't understand. People love to hate the guy. I think it's because we've become enamored with what is new, and he's been here so long, and you know what the shortcomings of him are. He is a fine pitcher. I think he is going to be fine when he gets back. It's just a matter of, will his velocity come back to what it should be? Because if he's sitting high 80s and nibbling around, it's going to be a problem for you.
No good, yeah. I think he'll be fine. I'm not really worried about him as much as I'm worried about. I get too many other worries. Like Nola is down on the priority list of worries for me right now.
Yeah, I think we're concerned a little bit more with what the rest of the rotation is and the fact they keep selling you Taijuan Walker as a solution, as a high leverage guy in your bullpen.
Yeah, that's where I am right there. The top four of the bullpen is where I'm focused.
I can't believe we're living in a world where they're trying to convince us Taijuan Walker is a high leverage guy.
Well,
Dave Dombrowski on that podcast, we played it last week, said we saw him out there twice. Those two bullpen appearances were multi-inning, low-leverage bullpen appearances where he pitched to a 3 ERA.
We think this is the beauty. We think his stuff plays. That's what I love that one.
Yeah.
We think his stuff plays because he's got a good splitter. All right.
Hey, he might strike guys out
You know who had a
in
good
the sixth
splitter?
inning.
Remember Hector Neris?
Oh,
Really
Hector the Protector.
But he couldn't throw it 50 straight times.
No.
All right, let's go to Silver in Germantown. What's up, Silver? Oh, wait, what did I do to Silver? Silver, I screwed up. Silver, call back. I just messed up. I pushed the wrong button. Silver!
Silver, come back.
Silver, call. Silver, come back. Yeah. Silver, call back. I messed up. All right, let's go to Chuck in South Jersey. Chuck, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Chuck?
Hey, what's up, Mike? How
you
doing?
doing, buddy?
Good. So the first I'm hearing about this, the Daryl Morey produced musical is just like a few minutes ago when you brought it up.
Oh, it's spellbinding, man.
Yeah, I'm one of I have become like one of the worst Sixers haters over the last few years, and completely disgusted with the franchise. I don't even watch them play. I'm like, my mantra is boycott the Sixers, and I don't even know what to do about them. But this is just another thing. This is just like more fuel to the fire, I guess you could say.
Let me read one more let me read one more paragraph for you. The project originated when he was in the front office of the Houston Rockets, when he linked with playwright and fellow basketball fan Mickey Mayer. Mayer reached out to Morey when he noticed Morey shared in an Q&A with fans that if he had not pursued a career as a basketball executive, he would have been a theater director. He's a better theater director than he is basketball executive right now, for crying out loud. What are we talking about? You should have pursued it.
Well, it's just it's a shame, for the Sixers, because you have a general manager that has other interests that take a priority, and then you have an owner that has other interests in sports with the Commanders and the hockey team that seem to take a priority as well. And meanwhile, we're stuck with whatever the Sixers are going to be from year to year, I guess.
Well, the least you can do is put those guys into play in some form, stick them in there as a prop,
I guess
as a tree or something.
Yeah, that's right. So I wanted to ask you like something about. I had like an opinion about the Phillies, kind of like a big picture thing. I was just curious, like what you thought about this, like because this I really like this Phillies team a lot, and I think they're very good. I like watching them play. In the last few years, they've been very entertaining and disappointing at the same time. But I see like the Phillies is like they're an organization that they don't develop enough like homegrown like talent to really like be at like the top of the heap, I guess you could say, because most of their best players seem to be free agents, and the guys that have come through their system, like Stott, Bohm, you got Marchand, Rojas, Kirkering's like a nice piece, Nola, but they don't really seem to. Their farm system just isn't really producing like star power. And I kind of think that's really sort of where the limitation of this team is. I think to have a really championship-winning organization, you need to produce your best players from your farm system. I just don't see this team doing that.
Yeah, they don't produce outfielders.
Outfielder. When was the last time they produced a decent outfielder?
Yeah, they haven't produced an outfielder with any sock. It's kind of weird when you think about it.
And yeah, especially when, the prospects, how many prospects are outfielders? It's like the most popular position.
I know.
So
they got to get somebody with some pop that can play outfield.
Yeah, and they bring some of these guys up. Like there's a Darren Ruff, for example. They bring these guys up, and nothing really happens with them, and it's kind of like, well, where you're at. You're kind of with the left fielder of the week.
Yeah.
Castellanos has been like solid, which is okay, fine. But, the center fielder, okay, you see what we have. So
yeah,
I just don't know. And then it's like, okay, so you're coming up on a trade deadline. It's like, well, the farm system hasn't produced a lot of players. You have some good prospects, but are they going to be any good too? Like, you know what I mean? I don't get where how they're going to get better.
Listen, they have an outfield prospect right now. It could be a starting center fielder for a lot of years. So we'll take that. But they don't have anybody with a lot of pop. Like this Otto Kemp is kind of a weird story. Like he's just a guy without a position.
It might be the chair because I did just sing a couple moments ago, which I don't think I've ever done in this program, and it might be taking up for a guy who's probably not good enough, but I want to see it anyways. I'm okay if we stop with the Weston Wilson experience and at least try the Otto Kemp experience.
Yeah, I don't know.
Putting a guy out there again who's out of position.
You can't do that either. They make it so difficult, man. Honest to God, they get these 4A players with no positions. They're loaded with that kind of character. No position guys that are 4A players.
Yes, that are going to rake in Lehigh Valley, and you're like, you know what, let's run into one at Citizens Bank Park.
Exactly. It was the guy they had, the left-handed guy. Was it David Dahl?
David Dahl? Yeah.
He came here. Oh, look at this. They found a real find. And then he went 0 for 70, and he was gone.
You can't give up on David Dahl.
No.
You can't give up on him.
By the way, he brought up Darren Ruff. You see if Darren Ruff is suing?
I did.
What's it, the Giants he's suing?
I think he's suing the Reds.
The Reds, yeah.
Great American Ballpark.
And what was that lawsuit about?
I guess he got tripped over a tarp that had a career-ending injury.
He was chasing a foul ball, and he didn't see the tarp and ran into the tarp, and apparently the tarp caused a career-ending injury.
Wow.
Groundskeeper got to be sweating.
I know if he's looking for a job in baseball, whether that'll happen now.
Yeah, no. I think you're done with Major League Baseball at that point.
All right, Silver's back with us. We'll get you afterwards, Silver. That was my bad. 610-632-0975 is how you come in. If you got any ideas for some Sixer players as characters in a musical, I'd love to hear it. It's the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic.
We want to hear from you. So text
Missanelli Show. Phillies win last night. Big win for them. Break a losing streak. Tonight, Mick Abel. And I got to be honest with you. If I was king of a betting service, I'd be advising my clients to take the Blue Jays today. I don't know.
Thankfully,
I just got to feel.
you got to feel.
I got
It's
one of those
the-
feels where this is not a game that the Phillies are going to like.
The Mike Misgut feeling here.
It's a gut
Yeah.
feeling. Yeah.
A little Nostradamus action.
Listen, I have no particular insight in this other than they're up against a pretty good pitcher tonight, and they're going to pitch Mick Abel, and that second start usually is one where you struggle. So that's what I would advise people.
Yeah, it is interesting the amount of respect they're getting, that Abel's really getting against Berrios,
Yeah, it's even money.
which I would not have anticipated that. In Toronto, second start
Uh-huh.
for a guy.
It's a Phillies line. You want to look
If
at it
if
that
it's,
way.
it's telling you a little something.
It is telling me a little something. All right, let's move on to little Vic Fangio. I want to get this out there right away. He says a lot of interesting things yesterday, but one of the things that he said, Austin, was Vic Fangio 16. Because let's face it, they didn't exactly spill their bucket spending wise for guys on the defensive end. Their main focus is on the offensive end, but their defense is going to have to step up in a lot of different ways. Not only edge rusher, you get the linebacker situation where guys are hurt. So here's what Vic Fangio had to say about the defense and the new guys that have to kind of take a step up.
I look at this year very similar to last year in that at this time last year, we had a lot of turnover in personnel from the previous year. You had Bond. Nobody knew what he was at this point last year. You had Nakobe, who hadn't played any meaningful NFL football in his first 2 years. You had Oren Burks, who we had just signed. You had Isaiah Rodgers, who we had just signed. You had Ojomo, who didn't play hardly at all his rookie year. You got Nolan, who didn't play hardly at all his rookie year. We got Chauncey back. We drafted Q, Cooper, Jalix. We had a lot of question marks at that time, or you didn't know. This year, those names are replaced. Ringo, Adoree, Sidney, McCollum, Ojulari, Uche, Byron Young, Gabe Hall, Booker, Jihad, all the draft picks, Makuba, Robinson, Smile, and then the rest of the rookies. Some of those guys in that second list have to become like those guys in the first list. And I don't know how that's going to turn out, but I look at it really basically the same 1 year to the next. The names have changed. Hopefully we'll get the same results from these new guys that we got from a lot of the new guys last year.
It's pretty good the way he rattles them off.
He looked like he was looking down.
Oh, you think?
I
he
think he had a
was?
little piece of paper.
Oh, no,
I think it was a little scripted. I think it was a little scripted.
No, a cheat sheet. Man, I was giving him the credit. Man, this guy's sharp. He's got every player categorized in his head.
Yeah, I think he had a cheat sheet. I'm not buying that he was just
All right.
rattling names off like that.
All right.
There was something sitting there on the table. I
Way
was watching.
disrespectful, Ray. Way disrespectful with Vic Fangio. All right. He's an older man, and maybe his recall isn't the best.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong if the memory goes a little bit. I'm just saying, don't give credit where memory isn't due credit.
Can you actually improve your memory, or is that a scam?
I think that's a scam.
What is that? What's that they advertise? Prevagen? Is that what it is?
Is it Prevagen?
Is it Prevagen?
I only noticed the commercial where they have to go very quickly in the last 5 seconds to tell you that there's 1,000 different side effects that will occur if you take this medicine.
Oh, well, that's a medicine. This is an over-the-counter thing.
Over-the-counter thing?
Yeah.
Prevagen?
Prevagen is supposed to be the natural brain supplement.
All right. Let's
Yeah,
see.
you got it?
Supplements
Is it
for your brain.
Prevagen?
Yeah, Prevagen. You're right. All right. So it's supposed to help you out. What you need to know. What
What is in Prevagen? What do you got? Is it natural, like herbs? Like what is it?
No, it's
Can't
not
be
natural
narcotics.
herbs.
It can't be medication because it's over the counter.
Now this other thing, apoquarin?
Apoquel?
No.
What? What is
No,
it?
it's something APO AE and then quarin.
Apoquarin?
Apoquarin? It's a protein found in jellyfish that is the main. Oh, it's the main ingredient in Prevagen.
Oh, there you go. So
Yeah.
Prevagen is jellyfish residue?
Ah, yes. Apparently
What?
it's jellyfish protein. In 2024, A federal court ordered the makers of Prevagen to stop the claims that it improves age-related memory loss and brain function, saying they were misleading and lacked reliable evidence.
Okay.
We
All
knew
right.
it.
All right. So
It is not FDA approved.
It's not. Oh, what Prevagen is not FDA approved?
It is not.
Oh, no.
Well, in that case,
All right.
all right. Well, in that
Forget it.
case,
I have no hope for my memory then. So here's another thing about God. Like what? God, the mosquito, the cockroach, and the jellyfish. I don't. If I had a conversation with God, I would say, "Yo, what's up?"
we just found out what the jellyfish is for. Apparently, it's going to help you.
Well, how
keep
would
your
they
memory.
find that out?
Who is the guy?
That's
Let's
the
go
thing.
find the
What
jellyfish.
is, have you ever had any kind of benefit to a jelly? You see a jellyfish, you're like, oh, that's great for the environment. Is it great for the environment? What does a jellyfish do?
It's great for your memory.
No, that's bogus. That's bogus. What is a jellyfish? What is the purpose of a jellyfish? Can some ocean what is it? The marine biologist?
Yeah, let's get a marine biologist.
George Costanza.
I'm a marine biologist.
Right. What is the benefit of a jellyfish? Because I don't get it.
After that, we'll have him take a golf ball out of the whale.
And they're so disgusting looking. 610-632-0975. We're back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones, and this is your Fanatic Sports Update. This update is brought to you by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. We all play a role in keeping the roads safe. Watch for pedestrians. Give 4 feet when passing and slow down. Let's look out for each other. Safety is shared. Brought to you by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. The Phillies snapped their 4-game losing streak last night as they beat the Blue Jays 8-3. Trey Turner hit 2 home runs. Bryce Harper returned to the lineup after missing some games due to an elbow injury, and he proceeded to hit a home run in his first at-bat. Christopher Sanchez went 6 strong innings, allowing 1 run and 1 hit and run his 5th game of the season. Tonight, Mick Abel will be on the mound for his 2nd career start, and hopefully he can have the same type of mojo from his first start where he had 6 scoreless innings and 9 strikeouts versus the Pirates. First pitch is set for 7:07. And as we know, the Eagles lost some key defensive players on the edge position due to the offseason moves. But yesterday, defensive coordinator Vic Fangio says he feels good about a couple of guys that are going to be playing this year.
I feel good about Nolan. I think we'll feel good about Jalix, now that he's going to get a lot of reps and develop. He played good for us down the stretch last year and played a lot, as you saw. I feel good about those 2 guys, and I think they'll continue to improve.
This update's also brought to you by the local Ream Pro partners at ReamTeam.com. When you want your home to feel like a dream, it's easy to be Ream. Stay cool with a high-efficient AC system from Ream, REEM. Find your Ream Pro partner at ReamTeam.com. I'm Austin Jones, and your home for the NBA coverage. Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5TheFanatic.com.
It's one of my selections.
Says so. This is
Yeah? What is this?
Rump Punch, Cash Cobain.
Rump Punch, Cass Cobain, huh? It's eerie. I don't know why I would have selected this.
Off the list it goes.
Yeah, wait, like, I don't know. What did I think maybe the song is better than the intro. That's probably why I wrote it down.
Probably.
Well, anyway.
It's all right. It's gone.
Well, I gave you some new ones. Didn't I give you some
Yeah,
new
yeah. The rotator, I think we hit the full max, so I think I have to start clearing stuff out.
Oh, yeah, clear that one
So
out.
Rump Punch,
Yeah, I don't know what
off the list.
I don't know what the Rump Punch is.
Yeah,
All
no
right,
good.
In any event, Silver's been hanging for a really long time. So, did you have something to say?
Well, I was saying I looked up the jellyfish thing for you.
You had the jellyfish.
I have what they do.
All right, what did they do?
They help nutrients reach other species. The headline here: jellyfish helping to keep our ocean full of life, according to the marine.
They help other species.
Yes.
How?
Apparently, they get nutrients through the water here. So the jellyfish, they drift through different layers of the water, and they help transport nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus through the sea. These nutrients can be recycled and used by other marine organisms for growth.
So
and
they
survival.
give off nutrients?
Yeah, I guess that's what we take.
Well,
as
why do they
sting.
sting? Why do they sting?
Great. Maybe we're not meant to have those nutrients. Maybe they're at
Well,
a different level of life than we are.
So, like when they see a human being, that's a threat to them, and they sting you.
Feels like it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, like the whole skunk thing. Like they're worried. Instead of a terrible odor, it's just a terrible pain.
They're worried. They have a brain, do they?
I mean, this thing kind of looks like a brain in there.
Yeah, is there a brain, really?
Imagine they got a
Jellyfish
nervous
has a
system.
brain?
Do jellyfish have a brain? I would imagine so, right? They got
You've taken over to Google search from Bill.
Yeah.
All right, let's get Silver in here. Silver, you're
No,
on
they
90
don't.
They don't have a
No.
brain. There you go. So why would they know what they're doing? Go ahead, Silver.
What's going on, Mike?
How are you, Silver?
Not too good, man. Just trying to figure out, you got 5 head coaches is fired, right?
How about that, man?
And all of them, yeah, but all of them made the playoffs or the play-in. Why is Nurse still head coaching? Why
It's
is
interesting, isn't it? It is very
Still,
interesting that there was no turnover with the Sixers after that disastrous season.
Right, because you got Tibbs. He gets to the conference finals for the first time since 2000. Tom Thibodeau, he gets to the Knicks to the conference finals for the first time since 2000, and they get rid of him because of Game 1. That's the reason why. But whatever. Nurse shouldn't even be there, man. He didn't.
I'm going to tell you what it
nothing
is,
for
Silver. Here it is. A disengaged owner. If an owner was paying attention, there would have been some kind of movement within this organization. He was occupied with something else. He's got 2 other teams. He really doesn't know the sport well enough to figure out what's going on. I put that right on the lap of Mr. Eat Popcorn in the first row.
Right, and then once Ruben he leaves and sells it for whatever share he had involved with it, everything went downhill after that.
I don't know how you could own a team that produced that kind of crap and not think you needed not to make changes. It's beyond me.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure this out as you're speaking right now.
And
then
here's
you
the
got your
beauty,
team
Silver.
across the street.
Here's the beauty. Not only did they not make any movement with a coach or a general manager or a front office, they're asking you to believe in them again for next year, that things are going to be better.
With the same roster.
Yes. That miracle cures are going to happen with Embiid and with Paul George, and everything's going to be wonderful. And if they're all healthy, they're really good. They're going to make a run in the East. Like your sister's rump.
And then this third pick is going to that's going to get us to the Eastern Conference Finals, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so. But across the street, you got Super Bowl champions. And, so that's the positive thing. And then the Philadelphia Phillies, of course, they're going to eventually, I think, pull one out, the World Series in the next 5 years. I think they could get one.
Next 5
Probably
years?
2.
What? Next 5 years? Silver.
I'm saying 2
Yeah,
in the
you got
next
5 years to wait for them to win a World Series here?
I said 2 in the next 5 years. I'm fine with that.
2 of the next 5 years. So you have them winning this year?
Got you 2 Super Bowls in 5 years, so yeah, I'm fine with that.
Oh, man, I don't see that. I'm sorry. I don't see that.
40-year-old JT winning a World Series in 5 years.
This would have to happen this year for him to even be close to that.
Yeah. This is a team that right now I think the average age is 30.
Yeah,
They don't got 5 years.
I'm not feeling it.
We had the whole conversation about the farm system just
Yeah.
a couple minutes ago.
You're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, and we broadcast from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Ray Dunn is with us today. Austin Jones is producing the show. Of course, yesterday, if you were listening, Big Bill gets a big promotion. Big, beautiful Bill.
He's in big meetings. Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
he's on Zoom out there.
Yeah, he is. He's in
talking
big
to
meetings.
people.
He's doing recordings. And I can. Here's the question about Bill. And people can chime in on his favorite chat over there and also on our text board. Can he handle stardom?
It's an interesting question for him.
You think Bill is the type to be able to handle stardom? Stardom, relatively.
I think
he's got to, the shows has to be successful, which I think it will. I think it'll grow. They'll have fine chemistry.
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing off the jump is going to be the attire on television.
Yeah.
People won't enjoy, the tight shirts. It worked here. It was a fun thing,
you
but
think- you think
people
they'll
will get a
mock
little
him?
tired of
You
it.
think they'll mock him?
Yeah, I imagine that they run a professional ship over there at NBC Sports Philadelphia. They're kind of a professional.
I
look
agree.
from it.
Here's the thing Bill has to understand. When he's perceived as a meathead, he can't dress like one.
Right. Yeah, you have to
Right?
change their perception.
Right. Like he ought to come out with like Ernie Johnson.
I think he should. I think he should rock a tie actually for his first week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to show people a little different.
Do something different. Show a little different side
Yeah.
than the guy who goes in the gym.
You think he's the loud gym goer?
I think he is. I
think-
think he's a loud gym
Just
guy.
so everyone knows.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, everyone sees.
Yeah,
it.
what do you think?
Yeah, I mean that strikes. That's the concern. Stardom right there. He's a lot of hey, look over here.
I got to do some pec work.
You can totally see it too.
Of course. How I look, and he's one of these
Oh
guys.
yeah, he's got
he
the
looks in
mirror.
How's the right breast look? I think I need a little work on the right breast.
Somebody's trying to get their workout in. He's just standing in front of the mirror.
I don't have the symmetry that I need.
Well, his chat's coming after him right now. By the way,
What's the chat saying about
Trevor Rice. If you ask Bill, he's already a star.
I swear to God, he's walking around like a star already.
JM, it'll go to his head. Now they are coming to his defense here. Provolone, John, my man ain't even here to defend himself.
He's not, but he's around.
He's somewhere.
He can pop in here
It's a big
anytime he wants. He can pop in.
Big meeting.
We got a text on Bill about being here today.
What we got? What's the text say?
Bill is the college freshman who goes back to his high school's homecoming game and wears his varsity jacket.
No. You think he's that type of guy? He's not a varsity jacket wearing guy, but he's a guy who would like to show the muscles.
You don't think, because, he went back and coached. He coached football back, I think.
He did.
Was it his high school afterwards? You don't think at least one practice he showed up in the jacket? It was like, hey, you work hard. Be like me.
Yeah. Listen, and he's probably like, well, I don't do machines. Free weights, man. That's it. Free weights.
In my obviously illustrious lifting career, massive fan of the machine. The free weights to me, you're trying too hard. You're doing too much. Just the machines are there for a
He's
reason.
no question. He's a free weight man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He's got those barbells, like, he's doing the claps on the bench. Like, he's one of the. We're mocking Bill. Poor guy.
Nothing changes. Things change, but things stay the same. We were going to mock him whether or not he was sitting here or sitting in the afternoon.
Exactly. So now we have free mockery.
Yeah.
With no retribution, which is great.
Oh, we get retribution Monday too.
All right. 610-632-0975. Let's go back to Vic Fangio. Now, tell this story, Ray, about Vic Fangio and the story that followed him, authored by Jalix Hunt.
Yeah, so Jalix Hunt went on a podcast. Pete's Take is what it Pete Takes, whatever it was, post Super Bowl.
Takes?
So,
Pete Takes. What is that? Everybody's got one.
Yeah.
Pete Takes.
Hey, you got Jalix Hunt as a guest. Good for you, Pete, on that one.
There you go.
But, everyone was doing their media tour, and that was a part of his media tour. And he said that after the Super Bowl, I'm paraphrasing here, they had a meeting Thursday ahead of the parade on Friday. And part of the meeting was, hey, this is what we're doing at the parade. This is what the plan is for tomorrow. And the offense dipped out of there. And Vic, apparently, now this is quoting what Hunt said, defense, come here. He goes over, we have this checklist. The checklist, each game of what we need to do. And if you get a yes in those boxes 9 times out of 10, you win. So they went through the checklist, and allegedly, this is what Hunt said that Fangio said, that the second half was unacceptable. He circled the second half, unacceptable, 22 points. We won. They didn't score in the first half. We're having a meeting after the Super Bowl. He wants perfection.
Yeah.
So he was saying it was an unacceptable second half performance from his defense, according to Hunt. That's what Fangio said to them.
Okay, and here's how Fangio replied to that. This is Vic Fangio 20.
That was fake news. Yeah. Never did that. I actually brought them together on that day to compliment them on how well they played in the Super Bowl. There was not a negative word spoken.
Now, why would Jalix Hunt say that?
Absolutely dumb hill to die on if you're Jalix Hunt. Very dumb hill to die on.
What did he do? Just make it up and like it sounded like a good story?
Yeah, like, oh, you would never believe what it's like to play for Vic Fangio. Like, it makes it hard to believe that the two sides here. Would a rookie who just won the Super Bowl make up that story to sound cool, or does it seem like a likely Fangio story? I would probably go to the more likely Fangio story.
Yeah, probably. And Jalix Hunt is probably smart. Well, he went to Cornell, right?
Yeah.
He started at Cornell. So he's smart enough to figure it out. Like maybe I could use a storyline of Fangio, but then make something up that would indicate that it could be true.
So you think it's more than likely made up?
Yes.
See, I think this is more than likely a Fangio thing.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Do you think Fangio is just fake news to fake news?
I think so. I think he might have done this a little tongue in cheek with the guys, and doesn't see it as the way Hunt saw it.
Let me hear this again. I want to see if you can get this. So you're saying Vic is this is true, and Vic is trying to con you in this, thinking it's not true.
Yes.
Wow. All right, let's hear it again.
That was fake news. Yeah. Never did that. I actually brought them together on that day to compliment them on how well they played in the Super Bowl. There was not a negative word spoken.
Now, he said the exact opposite.
I know.
Of what Jalix Hunt said. So you're saying that that's the extent of the cover-up is that such that he would say the exact opposite?
What would be the reason for Jalix Hunt to tell us a falsehood?
Jalix Hunt is trying to entertain on a podcast.
Correct.
And you get carried away and you can, fudge the truth a little bit because it sounds like it's something that Fangio would be. In a perverse kind of way, he's giving Fangio a compliment about what a taskmaster he is.
And Fangio probably doesn't want to seem like he's so uptight.
Really? I don't know. What are you, Austin? You thinking fake news on Fangio or fake news on Jalix Hunt?
I think that would be fake news on Jalix Hunt.
I can see where he would embellish a story, try to be extra entertaining on a podcast, and say be smart enough to say, well, this sounds like it would be Fangio, so let me tell this story.
Right. And what does Fangio have to do? He's what? How old now? He ain't got to be out there lying.
Nobody wants to be seen as the strict guy.
Yeah, well, Fangio doesn't care. You think Fangio cares?
He was miserable at the Super Bowl parade.
People think he's a negative guy anyway.
There's no need to look miserable all the time. He doesn't want to seem miserable.
If it didn't happen at all, if it happened, I don't think Fangio would go the opposite way to say it didn't happen. He would say, yeah, I had a talk with him because I'm always looking for perfection or whatever. I think he would have said something like that and been honest. He's an honest guy. You think Fangio is making stuff up?
He had a little smile when he was saying fake news. Maybe he just wanted to mess with his rookie.
That's the big mystery. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Andrew Salciunas.
The reason why I say
97.5 The Fanatic. 610-632-0975 is how you get in to the text board. Let's go to the text board where Austin Jones is manning it today. Austin, what are people saying on the text board?
Alrighty, so there's a lot of chatter about the small ball production that was done by Daryl Morey.
Fantastic.
The first one that we got was how many former Rockets and older NBA players such as James Harden and Paul George are going to be in the musical, or are they even going to be able to get through the musical without any injuries?
Oh.
That's Tristan from Salciunas.
That's pretty good. Can they get through the one play without suffering an injury?
Yeah, I heard the entire cast is a bunch of actors past their prime.
Oh, there you go. See, that's a rim shot.
There you go.
That's a rim shot. Austin
where's
hit
my
the
drop
rim
board
shot.
here?
Yeah, he's got to get the drop board. Austin's got to get on the drop board a little bit. Oh, there you go. You got it. Oh, yeah, you got your own drop board over there.
There you go, right?
All right.
I don't understand what the deal is with this seat and why everyone takes all the screens and pushes them away from you. I come in here, I can't see the call screeners pushed away from you, the hot keyboards pushed away from you. I don't know if this is a Kincade thing. I don't know if this is a Ricky Bo thing.
Yeah, these chat boards, I can't really keep track of them because there's like a million of them.
The one.
Let me just try this one out. Here. Oh, it's not
nothing.
on. It's not on. Austin, can you put my chat board on?
Yeah, you're good.
I'm good. Here we go.
You're smoking crack!
All right.
should have that once hours.
It's working. Smoking crack.
Oh, man, speaking of the Knicks earlier in the show, he's livid. Stephen A?
Sure. What, about Thibodeau being fired?
Yeah. Well, I mean, shocking. Stephen A went on a rant. I know that might surprise a lot of people. And now he's doing another show. He's got a Sirius XM show now. If you don't see him enough throughout the day, now from 1 to 3, you'll be able to listen to him.
It's unbelievable. I don't know how he doesn't run out of words. Yeah, sometimes I do a 4-hour show. I can't talk for the rest of the night.
Yeah, he's doing
I've run out of words.
10 to noon, 1 to 3, the podcast, the 1,000 other NBA shows they have on ESPN that he appears on. And then apparently, he's out about doing whatever he does at night. Like, how does he run? How does he have energy?
I don't know. He's got it, though. I got to give him a lot of credit.
Yeah.
All right, Vic Fangio, full press conference yesterday was pretty interesting. One of the most interesting press conferences I've heard from him, where he gave it up a little bit. Now, let's first start with this one, because this caught me right away, the CJ-GJ trade, where he threw it on Howie. Vic Fangio, 17. This is what he had to say. Well, what about CJ Garner-Johnson?
What were your thoughts on trading CJ?
That was a salary cap type thing, and how he made that decision. I was fine with it.
Oh, what does that say? What does that say to you? I was fine with it.
Because I feel like he would be very clear if he wasn't okay. Like, you could say it was a salary cap thing, and then I expected we're going to miss that guy. You know, he did a lot for us.
I was fine with it, he said. See? He's an honest guy. When he doesn't sugarcoat anything. That was his honest assessment. He was fine with it, meaning we could do without him. That's what that said.
Can you?
Well, in his mind, he can, just like you can do without Huff.
Well, Huff wasn't playing for you. You won a Super Bowl. CJ-GJ, two times in 3 years, he had 6 interceptions for you.
Again, like if you're a guy like Fangio, CJ-GJ was probably a pain in the ass.
Absolutely.
Let's face it. And when you're an older guy like that, you don't want to put up with pain in the ass. You have the clout not to put up with pain in the asses.
But Fangio, when he got here a year ago, said to you his best defense is what they all have, talented players. That's a talented player, regardless of how much he's a pain in the ass.
Then players wear on him, just like in Miami, where he didn't cultivate any of those players down there. He doesn't kiss anybody's ass. And I think that C.J. Garner-Johnson was one of those guys that kind of tweaked him, and he did. That's why he didn't care about it.
You're telling me
normally you would fight for one of your guys.
Well, that's the surprising thing. At least, like if you're gonna say he's a salary cap guy, I expected the rest of that. I'm sitting there in that studio as that press conference is happening. I'm sitting there waiting for
exactly.
And we're gonna lose a little bit of production here. Does he look at that safety room right now and say, "Hey, oh yeah, we're okay, we're fine"?
Yeah. He does because he believes in his coaching ability. He believes in his ability to raise the level of certain players, and especially younger players who have no choice but to listen to him. Like they can't get away with it. Like they're a young player, whatever that guy says goes. Veteran players may not be the same.
It might not be the same, and you're right. I think that he is in a position where he could really mold that room to what he wants. But you look at the names on paper, and I understand it's June 4th. We're sitting here talking about OTA practices. And I just see like the Beats tweeting out like, oh, this is the rotation at safety this time. And I'm thinking about a real life NFL offense going against that safety group. And right now, I got to tell you, I'm a little underwhelmed with the names on the paper. I understand that CJ GJ could be a pain in the ass. And, for us, he's kind of a great thing because he goes on Twitter and tells you exactly how he feels at any given time of day, and we could live react to everything he does. But really what he gave you on the field, two times in 3 years, he had 6 interceptions in that defensive backfield. How many times have we seen that level of production in terms of takeaways? And that's something in 2023 they struggle with.
Are you doubting the Philadelphia Eagles? Are you doubting the Philadelphia Eagles and their success next year because of this?
I'm doubting a little bit of that secondary right now for sure.
You know that they asked the fan base about the win total for next year. Did you see that story?
17-0, baby.
No, they didn't say 17-0. They allowed for 3 losses though.
What?
In the poll, all right, let's just go through the polling. This is how fans voted on a week-to-week basis with the projected winners. What they're going to do? Well, I tell you what, we're close up against the break. But let me give you the first game, Eagles Cowboys. They have 95.9% of the people have it as a win. 95.9.
That's insane. That's absurd. I understand who's going to say that they lose the opener to the Cowboys as a fan. I understand that perspective of it, but to have 95% of people thinking you're winning that football game is wild.
My point is, they don't have the same worries as you.
No,
you
clearly
just
not.
Put out some worries here about the young players being able to step up. Fans are going, they got Fangio. This team is built to win again.
Sure. Let's ignore it. Let's live in a perfect land where everything's going to work out perfectly.
Maybe they're right.
They could
Maybe they're right. I got them at 11 wins. The fans have them at 14. Maybe I'm nuts.
Yeah, look at us. A couple of Negadelphians here.
That's right. 610-632-0975 is how you climb into the show. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones, and this is your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies snapped their 4-game losing streak last night as they beat the Toronto Blue Jays 8-3. Trey Turner hit 2 home runs, and Bryce Harper returned to the lineup and proceeded to hit a home run in his first at-bat. Christopher Sanchez went 6 scoreless innings, allowing 1 run, and won his 5th game of the season. Tonight, Mick Abel will be on the mound for his 2nd career start, and hopefully he can have the same type of mojo from his first start, where he had 6 scoreless innings and 9 strikeouts versus the Pirates. First pitch is set for 7:07. As we know, the Eagles lost some key players at the edge position this offseason, and yesterday, Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio says he feels good about a couple players this year.
I feel good about Nolan. I think we'll feel good about Jalix, now that he's going to get a lot of reps and develop. He played good for us down the stretch last year and played a lot, as you saw. I feel good about those 2 guys, and I think they'll continue to improve.
This update's also brought to you by Extreme Experience. Give Dad the ultimate driving experience in a Ferrari or a Porsche on a real racetrack. Extreme Experience hits New Jersey Motorsports Park August 14th through August 17th. Save 25% for Father's Day. ExtremeExperience.com. I'm Austin Jones on the home of the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5TheFanatic.com.
It's 97.5 The Fanatic. In the spirit of comedy, I would love to open it up to the fans on what roles they can determine for current Sixer players in the new musical that is being produced by Daryl Morey. I want you to put your creative hat on and come. I've already gotten a couple of jobs solidified. Like, to me, Jared McCain in charge of cast makeup, it can't be beat.
No.
Right?
No.
I mean, that's a role that Jared McCain has to have. Embiid, but according to our texter, Dawood, a frequent chatter and texter, he's got Embiid as the cowardly lion. And that might be a little harsh, you know?
Pretty harsh. But it shows you where everyone is right now with him.
Exactly. Paul George, I've already said, he will not star in it, but his groin will walk. His injured groin will have a part, and it actually walks on stage, and then walks out, and he's out for the rest of the run. Let's see who else. Yabusele, the French chef. Marie, the baguettes. We can have that. What else we got? Can you think of anything else?
I got.
What about Grimes? Director of musical.
Director of music.
Director of music, Grimes.
Trying to think of a good role for, he shows up midway through the play.
How about this? Kyle Lowry as Father Time. He walks in with a white beard.
We got on the YouTube chat, JM, Morey is the Wizard of Oz.
Morey is the Wizard of Oz. Morey has to put himself in his own play. How about Jeff Doughton? You got any kind of useless role for him?
What is this character's purpose? Why is this character in this play?
Eric Gordon. Can you give me a role for Eric Gordon?
Father Time too.
How about Alex Reese? Is he ever a role? Oh, my God.
He's going to have a great summer league. You just wait.
You put your creative hats on here. Oh, my God. All right, let's get back to Fangio. Let's see. He was asked about. Let's see. That's what he has to say about Campbell. John Campbell, who he said won't be ready for a really long time. But so let's go to Vic Fangio too, and where Campbell is working out, and because you think this guy would be a rushing linebacker type of role, but not so fast, my friend. Here's what Vic had to say.
Well, right now he's working at ILB because there's a lot more to learn there. So that's where we'll start him. He won't hit the practice field until, sometime in August. So we're doing all we can. He's doing all he can in meetings. We're doing all we can with him on the field. I take him to the side and do an individual drill with him that's suited to what he can do right now. So he's working good and trying to pick it up.
Huh. ILB. Did that surprise you?
A little bit, considering we heard so much of did they just get the next Michael Parsons build at 31?
Uh-huh.
It surprises me just because I think when you look at that edge rusher room right now, you're looking at Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt had a nice close to the season. I think we all would agree that it's an overachievement of his rookie season. Can he be a contributor for you this year? Sure. Ojulari comes in. Hey, he's got a lot of production, but he's been injured. Mm-hmm. And Uche, who had a good season a couple years ago, but obviously right now is here because he's, again, a player that's been floated around the league because he hasn't found that success. So I think looking at that edge rusher room, you could use that help. I know Dean is a while away from coming back, so you look at that inside linebacker room, you could say they need help there, and Trotter right now is the one that's really getting a lot of the reps as that linebacker next to Zach Bond. But I thought when they drafted him, a lot of that conversation came into that edge rusher position because that's just physically where they thought he would be best for them. And I go back, and this will be the Temple guy inside of me that comes out here, but when the Cardinals drafted Hassan Reddick where they did in the first round, he, for the first 3 years he was in Arizona, was a bust. Uh-huh. Why? They kept using him inside when it was clear he's an edge rusher. They don't pick up that rookie contract option for him. He ends up at the edge rusher. His last year there gets him paid because he was productive there. I don't know necessarily where they see him fitting in long-term right now for the Eagles when we get back to Campbell here. But the fact they're starting him inside linebacker is surprising to me because I think they saw the traits of a good edge rusher when they picked him. And right now I feel like they're just pushing him inside because he has to learn that position. If he's not going to be there, I don't really need him to be a huge contributor at that point.
Where would they in what capacity would they use him would they use him as a third down linebacker? Your starters are going to be Bond and Nakobe Dean, right?
Right.
So would he be that guy that they substitute in maybe a third down that he's got the mobility to be an ILB, but also he has the ability to rush the passer from that position?
That could be where they're going with this, and they also could be signaling to you, hey, this could be a lengthy, Nakobe Dean gets hurt in the postseason, and it's a pretty serious injury. They could say that, hey, his way to contribute year one with us is going to be in that interior, and they could use that versatility like you're saying. We're on third down. Hey, he's technically an ILB, but he's going to be able to rush the passer from this position. And it'll be a bonus if we get Dean back and he's productive and we have Campbell that can play that role for you. So maybe that's the way they're looking at this.
Well, he did. He was there. So there's the tail end to that quote where he says he's working at ILB. So Vic Fangio 3, Austin. Vic Fangio 3, Austin. It's good. You got that, Austin? I guess not. Do we have it? All right.
When you see him, though, do you see pass rush upside with Jihad?
Potentially.
What would it take to realize that?
Getting him out there.
Getting him out there. Potentially. I don't think he sees that just yet.
No.
He hasn't seen a lot of the kid, let's face it. But he's seen enough on tape to know what he can do. But he seems reluctant to commit to that.
Which, if you want to go on the other side of this, Zach Bond, for the beginning of his career, was regarded as an edge. They saw the traits to move him inside. It worked out great for him. So maybe that's what he's seeing. Like, I feel like we've gotten the dueling perspectives of what Jihad Campbell can be so far. I just found surprising because I thought more that he fit the mold of what they were going to go at edge. And again, as we talk through this, my line of thinking here is immediate contribution for him might be more inside because they're going to be missing Dean for a significant portion of the season.
All right, but you also I don't know what to think of this. What is Campbell to this guy? Because the next quote is how good he feels about his edge rusher, and that's Vic Fangio 4. Austin,
this was good.
Let's check this one out.
I feel good about Nolan. I think we'll feel good about Jalix, now that he's going to get a lot of reps and develop. He played good for us down the stretch last year and played a lot, as you saw. So I feel good about those two guys, and I think they'll continue to improve. We've got Uche, we've got Aziz, we've got 3 other guys there. I think we'll be fine.
Okay. That was so funny to me. The 3 other guys. Give me the sense that you're not going to be around for long.
Yeah.
Without just telling me that you're not going to be around.
The 3 other guys.
Yeah. The 3 other guys. We were sitting there as one of the 3 other guys.
We got Nolan and Hunt, 3 other guys.
Hey, Vic, you know my name? You want to talk about my role with this team? Am I going to be here for a while?
All right, let's go back to the text board. Austin, what are people saying?
Well, we have one on Fangio going and still being, an older coach, or we can keep with the play here. Which way you want to go?
You know what? Do Fangio first, and then let's get back to the play, because I'm anxious to hear what the creative minds are out there on this regarding Daryl Morey being a Hollywood producer.
Alrighty, so this is Joe from West Philly. A lot of old school coaches have a way of praising their players. Sometimes you don't know what direction they're going to go, win, lose, or draw in regards to Jalix Hunt.
Okay. Listen, they're putting a lot of faith in both those guys, and I'm actually okay with it. I think Nolan Smith really made some great strides, so I think they're good. I think all these young guys under his tutelage are really going to be good. Now, that's not me being an overly optimistic guy, because that's not what I am, but I do feel that way.
So it's interesting. You brought up the Inquirer fan survey where it was 96% we're gonna win against the Cowboys.
Yep.
Do I think long term that these guys with traits on this defense can figure it out and that they could put together another solid defense? I'm not going to tell you I think they're going to be number one again the way they were a season ago. Yes, I think they can put together with what they have talent-wise, what they can mold with this defense with Vic Fangio as the defensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. Right off the jump, though, we saw, I remember we had the conversation following the Buccaneers game, like, hey, does this defense have enough? Like, is this defense as talented? When you look at that start of the schedule for the Eagles, can the defense be serviceable enough for you early on in the season while they figure out the best place to work with all these guys to get you those games early on that get you to the gaudy win total that the fan base expects in 14, to get you to that division title in a division that's going to have the Commanders, to get you that first round bye, that people will want, that people will covet, that look for that home field? that to me is a massive storyline going into this season because, like you said, I think we all at this point look at Fangio and say, yeah, he can mold these young players. But the way we learn about what they're going to do in the game is by them playing in real football games, not preseason, not practice, certainly not OTAs, not next week at minicamp, but when we get to September. And I think that 96% early on to me is a little like, hey, do you understand what actually they have to figure out before you get to that game? Or are you just saying, there's no way they lose the opener to the Cowboys when they hang that banner this time? Like, it's a kind of fan base vibe type of feel where it's like, yeah, there's no way they lose to the Cowboys opening night. They just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I think there's more to overcome than just that line of thinking.
All right. 610-632-0975. I'm finally going to get to this schedule on how the public, the Eagles watching public, have picked all these games by percentage. Really interesting. Very, very optimistic. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Connor Thomas.
Lazar's made what, 11, 12 starts?
11:39, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, let's get to this right away here. This is the Eagles' schedule. Projected winners, fan vote. So they've accumulated all these fan votes and have put a win percentage on each game. And it is very, very optimistic. All right, so let's start with week 1. We mentioned earlier. Eagles versus Cowboys. 95.9 winning percentage, Ray, amongst the fan base.
No way they lose the opener to the Cowboys. The banner's coming down. They just won the Super Bowl. You can't lose that
All right,
game,
so
right?
you got that as an accurate 95, or is that high to you?
Way too high.
Way too high?
Way too high.
What would you set it at? This is the Ray percentage versus the public percentage.
65 to 70%.
65 to 70%.
There's just a lot of change. It's a young secondary that's going to go against the healthy Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Pickens there. Like
That's probably fair. They should be favored in they're favored in the game. So 65 to 70. That's a pretty good number.
Yeah.
Eagles and Chiefs. Oh my God! Out of the chute after a 95.9%, 45.9. The public is picking the Eagles to lose that game.
Far too low.
That's too low.
Yeah. You just watch them beat that Chiefs team. I don't think the Chiefs have gotten much better.
Okay, would you put that percentage over 50? Right.
I probably have it. That's a coin flip for me. Yeah.
You have it at 50.
You know what? They won the Super Bowl, damn it. 51%.
51 Eagles?
Yeah.
Okay, you got 51% Eagles. The public says that's an L. 45.9%. We go to the Rams. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? 84.2% win. That's way high.
Yeah, it's very high. It's funny because, like, of all the playoff rematches, and I know we're going to go through this, but, like, I think that's the highest one for win percentage. And at that game, I know, well, they took their foot off the gas. I loved hearing that. Not to take a shot at Bill when he's not here, but that was an argument. Bill and I got in that argument, I think, one day where you were out, where he's like, well, they took their foot off the gas.
Yeah.
Would we have been saying that all off season if the Rams came back and won that game? Well, it's okay because they took their foot off the gas. It really wasn't that close of a game. No, it was a close game.
Yes.
So I don't see how 84% of people are like, you know what, forget that Rams team.
Yeah, I know. That's an iffy game. They could lose that game. Anyway, what do you got it at percentage-wise?
60.
60. All right.
60.
You got it 60. So far, you're 3-0.
Yeah.
You're 3-0 so far.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I might have them going 17-0.
Although the Chiefs, you copped out and went 51%. So you've gone 3-0.
I have.
All right, let's go to the Buccaneers. The public, 61.9% win chance. What do you got?
I think I took them to win this game originally in the W's and L's. And I think I'm already off a game my W's and L's because I think I had them losing to the Rams. So, yeah, I see that probably similar. Like, I think the fan base has justifiable reason to be at that 60% because you think they're a better team.
You're okay with 61.9?
I'm cool with where the fan base sat on that one. I think we all have that little irrational, the Buccaneers have our number thing going on.
So far, by percentage, Ray, they're 4-0.
I know. I think it's going to be funny because I'm going to go down this list and say, yeah, probably this one.
The Broncos, 94.7%.
Incredibly disrespectful to a playoff team from a season ago, but I also have that feeling that they're not losing the Broncos.
That's higher than what they said for the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys are higher than the Broncos.
Yeah, again.
That's hate. That's Cowboy hate.
That is Cowboy hate. But it really is. And we're going to get this leading up to opening night, like, because it's Dallas week for 3 months. Of like, there's just no way they're losing to the Cowboys.
All right. Are you good with 94.7%?
Yeah. Screw the Broncos.
All right.
I'm not a big Sean
You're going to go
guy.
chalk. All right. So now they're 5-0. Giants, 92.5%.
Which is crazy. More people think they're going to beat the Broncos than the Giants. We just don't pay attention to Denver. Denver's not real to us.
The Giants division game hold people back. People have held back a couple percentage points.
Oh yeah, Dayball finally gets his revenge.
0.5% for the Giants. They are now 6-0. Vikings at the Vikings. What do you got, Ray? The public has them 66.7% win percentage, which would make them 7-0.
Yeah, I don't know if it's 67%. I would say you're probably somewhere in the 50s there. You're going on the road to not a bad Vikings team. I believe when we did W's, I said Are you going to be
Okay.
afraid of J.J. McCarthy? I'm not going to be afraid of J.J.
All right.
But I'll respect the fact.
So you got what?
Let's give them. They are coming off. It's a long week for them. Yeah, I'll go 58.
All right, 58, which makes your record 7-0 so far, Ray.
Right.
That's the percent by percentage.
By percentage.
You got him 7-0.
Correct.
Giants next game makes them 8-0 because that's 95.9%.
A lot of respect coming up here.
8-0, and here we go. At the Packers, the public still has the Eagles with the percentage edge. 56.3% of the public believes that's a win. That would make them 10-0.
Well, they're great coming off the bye, remember?
Yeah. I think they're losing that game, but
I know you think they're losing that game. I think they're losing the next game. The Lions game,
all right,
they're not
so
winning.
you're okay with 56.3?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
You're okay with 10-0, Ray.
Yeah.
And here come the Lions. The Lions, 59.6% think the Eagles slay the Lions. That's higher than the Packers number. That's 11-0.
Well, the public there.
The public.
Public,
59.6% win for the Eagles. How about you, Ray?
Well, since you're counting everyone where I give them the percentages as a win.
It's an Eagles home game.
I'll go flip the other way. I'll say, you know what? Lions 51%.
So you got the Eagles at 49. That's your first L.
I got the Cowboys at 51% for the next one too.
So you got the Cowboys at fit. That's going to be a close game according to you. So you now have them 11-1 through the Cowboys. Then the Bears 96.4%. You good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Then 12-1. Chargers.
I'm also good
at the Chargers 74.9% win percentage.
That's a little lack of respect to the Chargers, but also that game is going to be great for narratives. That game for
they're going to lose that game.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
The what if man is going to win. Mr. What If, Justin Herbert,
coming off a win over the Cowboys and the Bears. They lay an egg there. But go ahead. Your percentage says what?
Yeah, I would drop that a little bit. Take me somewhere in the 60s there.
All right, so you still got them 13-1.
No, I got two losses. Lions, Cowboys. Both I had them at 51%.
Oh.
Yeah, Lions 51%, Cowboys 51%.
You took the Cowboys at 51%?
I think they're splitting with the Cowboys this year.
Oh,
I do.
okay. I didn't hear. I thought you were going Eagles 51%.
No.
All right, so you got two losses so far. Now it's the Raiders.
100% Eagles. Not a chance. They lose to the Raiders. No, I'm not going to walk all the way to
enough,
Vegas.
it's only 96.7%, which is the same as the Cowboys the first week.
Yeah, I'll spend a weekend in Vegas. If
Well, here's a really interesting one. The Week 16 at the Commanders. 38.7. The people have spoken. That's an L.
This is the ultimate, I have to pick a loss at some point, don't I? Game on the schedule.
Uh-huh.
And the next one's even more so than that.
All right, so that's 13-3. And then it's at the Bills. Oh, they have no chance to beat the Bills according to the public. 29.3% chance of winning.
Yeah, I think I also took them to lose that game. So
you taking the Bills in that game too?
Yeah, I'll give the Bills a 60% up there. Buffalo in December, forget it.
All right, the Commanders' final game. 86.6% win percentage for the Eagles.
Which is so, the stark difference just because one's in D.C. or Landover and one's in Philly. What is it? 38.7 to 86.6. If I was good at math, I'd tell you what the difference percentage is there. 48% difference just because it's a different stadium. Whatever it is, I'll still take the Eagles. They're all
right, so the public, by percentage, has 14-3. Ray has 13-4 by percentage.
By percentage. And going back and looking at my W's and L's, it was Eagles-Rams, the other loss I had that I believe I gave the Eagles more credit in that game today than I did back when we did W's and L's.
Now, do we really believe the Eagles are going to go 14-3?
No.
Do we believe they're going to go 13-4?
Because we got to the end of this exercise and I was like, wow, look at you, Homer. No, probably not either.
Well, there you go. So by percentage is not reality.
No.
610-632-0975. That was kind of fun.
I enjoyed that.
Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatics Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones, and this is your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies beat the Blue Jays last night 8-3 to snap their 4-game losing streak. Trey Turner hit 2 home runs, and Bryce Harper returned to the lineup and proceeded to hit a home run in his first at-bat. Christopher Sanchez went 6 innings, allowing 1 run, and won his 5th game on the year. Tonight, Nick Gable is on the mound for his 2nd career start, and hopefully he can have the same type of mojo from his first start, where he had 6 scoreless innings and 9 strikeouts versus the Pirates. First pitch is set for 7:07. As we know, the Eagles lost some key players at the edge position this offseason, and yesterday, Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio spoke about a couple of players that he has his eyes on.
I feel good about Nolan. I think we'll feel good about Jalix, now that he's going to get a lot of reps and develop. He played good for us down the stretch last year and played a lot, as you saw. I feel good about those 2 guys, and I think they'll continue to improve.
This update's also brought to you by Extreme Experience. Give Dad the ultimate driving experience in a Ferrari or a Porsche on a real racetrack. Extreme Experience hits New Jersey Motorsports Park August 14th through August 17th. Save 25% for Father's Day at extremeexperience.com. I'm Austin Jones, and you're home for the NBA Finals. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
In 5 minutes, the news at noon. What Austin Jones doing today? It's the Mike Missanelli Show. Ray Dunn is here. Austin Jones is here. Bill is walking around like a big shot. And,
Again?
Yeah,
Is he walking
we
around?
tried to get him in. He passed. We go, come in and say a couple words. I can't. I got to do it again. I'm going, this is getting sickening now.
He's going to forget that we exist
Yeah.
within a few days. If he hasn't already, honestly. I mean, he walked right past
there
you.
he is. He's outside the window now.
Oh, he's only outside the window so the YouTube gets him. So that is,
but
you know.
he won't come in.
Oh.
Here he comes. He's
Look at
going to
him.
grace us with his presence.
I didn't hear what you were saying. Vito came in. He goes, they're talking trash.
Oh, of course not. No. Us?
We're
About you?
saying
Never.
you're big time at people around here now.
Who'd I big time?
Us.
It's just
Specifically us.
It's just the attitude. You walking around. Look at the shirt he has on.
It's my wife's shirt. Well, not my wife's shirt. It's my wife's company.
Fits like
I may
it's your
have just
wife's shirt.
misspoke. They say I wear my wife's shirt. It's it's my wife's personal training brand.
It's a muscle man on the front.
So how's things going? Honestly, how's things going? You guys,
Going good.
you holding down the fort in here?
Things go well. Yeah.
Our YouTube guy told me this is the best show you've done in months. Yeah, but
Listen,
I'm
that's
not on.
Brandon's opinion. You know, we'd be
I got
fine if they
to.
echoed it.
You come in today, right? And it's not. It wasn't even like a fist bump.
What are you talking about?
You came in with this. You're walking around with this dude.
No, there was no fist bump. You did. You went right by my. Usually,
you
you're
were
a
right
fist
by
bump guy.
right by me.
Yeah.
You were into your computer. You're reading something. I said, "Hey, what's going on, man?"
You're telling me all of a sudden someone prepping the show is going to stop you from talking?
You know what the heck?
I've worked with you how long?
I think you two are projecting on me.
You
I don't
know,
think I acted this way at all.
You did.
You know how the kingmaker reacts after he makes a king, and the little king doesn't acknowledge the kingmaker.
How's that? What does he do?
He orders him slain.
All I can see is Mike's eyes from this seat.
Yeah.
I can't see anything but his eyes.
For a reason.
You know I love the both of you. I wasn't big time. I had a busy day. I got a bunch of meetings. I got more.
Oh, my God. Listen to this.
Oh, my God.
We got to
bunch
try
of
to make the
meetings.
show somewhat as good as this one, man.
Good luck.
We're going to try.
All right. We had enough of you.
We're
Thanks.
trying
All
to
right,
figure out who would
thanks for
take you
stopping
in the battle of the shows.
Oh, you guys would get smoked now. Me and Ricky would dominate any show. We talking about in physical performance?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm putting the money on us, of course.
I think I could take Bill just out of pure annoyance. You're going to have to take Ricky.
You talking about physical hands?
I'm talking Anchorman
hand bag?
style fight.
Yeah, he wants to fight, Ray. Ray wants to fight.
I'm just
who would
saying,
take,
if it came to that,
who would take on Ricky,
it's
Mike?
bothering me.
I can't take over Ricky. Ricky's too big for me.
Yeah, I think
Even though he's losing weight.
he is getting. He's
He
looking good.
Looks dead, yeah. Good.
All right, who's doing the news at noon at 12?
Not me, Austin.
Austin.
A lot of pressure, Austin.
Ain't nothing I
I'll
ain't
leave
done
you two
before.
alone. I'm here if you need me. I love you. I miss you. And what's up to the YouTube chat? I know they're checking.
Are they missing Bill in the chat?
Bill with the fresh do for TV. Did you change your hair?
Yeah, he got. Yeah, he changed.
He's changing everything
He-
about himself.
He combed it.
Bill bringing the beef
Yeah.
today.
Uh-huh.
Bill wants to hear that he's missed.
Yeah.
Bill's doing box jumps.
Doing box jumps.
Ray singing "Baby Come Back to Bill." I'm not. Not doing that.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Oh. Bill
all right.
turns his back quicker than the Knicks
He
organization.
does. I can just see this now. It's like he forgets where he's a classic guy who will forget where he comes from.
He has
Don't
no
you
idea
think?
we exist.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's a forget.
It's over for us.
Oh, wait, I didn't tutor on a show for 9 months. I never did that. I was a star from the jump.
Yeah.
That's why I decided to leave the law community. I knew I would be a star.
Meteoric rise for the man.
It is a meteoric rise. That's what they wrote about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the Inquirer headline on it. That was my
what
favorite.
what the Inquirer had
The
to
Inquirer headline, I don't want to misquote it here because it was so good that I need to make sure that I
Really?
have it. Yes, because I just found it hilarious. It was 97.5 The Fanatic launching new afternoon show with Ricky Batalico and a fast-rising newcomer.
Fast rising newcomer.
No love for Bill in the
So
headline.
the show is. I didn't know they had a name for the show.
They do.
They have a clever name for the show called
Unfiltered.
Unfiltered.
Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Collar.
Wow, how about that?
Yes.
This is a much better name. The story says.
Are we filtered? Is that what we are?
What?
Or is it filtered with
Oh no,
Mike
I said
Missanelli?
Unfiltered is safe, an inside the box word choice in radio and television.
Oh, you got the cross and broad. I'm on the Inquirer.
Oh, the Inquirer. You would put it in the broadcasting lexicon next to the words unapologetic and raw and honest.
So we're unapologetic here.
All right, well, whatever. It's Mike Missanelli Show. It's 97.5 The Fanatic. It is WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. It is noontime, and that means it is time for the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Alrighty, so let's get this party started.
All right.
Mike Miss, you know Charles Barkley pretty well, I would say.
Yes.
So the great Charles Barkley can tell some great stories, and he had another one yesterday or the day before with Dan Patrick, and he was asked if he ever wore Air Jordans, and Charles went on and told about the one time he decided to wear a Michael Jordan sneaker.
Did you ever wear Air Jordans when you played?
I'll tell you what's interesting about that. Man, I put his shoes on one game. He definitely did the greatest damn basketball player ever, Dan. Those were the heaviest damn things I've ever played in my life. I'm not even joking. Because when I designed my shoes, I wanted them really, really light. I played in those heavy-ass Air Jordans one game. It was like I had bricks on my damn feet, Dan. And I'm being 100% serious. I called him, man. I actually called him after the game. I said, yo, man, what the hell you be putting in these damn shoes? I mean, they were so damn heavy, Dan. I said, hey, I played in them one game as a tribute to him. These shoes too damn heavy for me, man. That's a true story, Dan.
It makes it even more amazing what Mike did in those Air Jordans.
I said, you really are the damn goat. You playing these big-ass bricks.
Well, Air Jordan is a heavier shoe because it's. I think the leather content in it is higher.
Is that what it is? The leather content goes higher?
I think it's got a higher leather content. You got any insight on the Air Jordan?
I know the pair that I have, the mids are pretty heavy. I like to try to walk flat-footed so I don't crease them at all, and it just doesn't work.
They're leather-laden shoe.
It's almost like a upscale Converse, if I had to.
It gives it a lot of stability at that shoe, but he's right. It is a little heavier.
All I heard in that clip was Michael Jordan and I are definitely not going to be friends again if I keep ripping on his shoe. Like, I know they're not friends right now because he got upset with the way that he talked about when he was running the Hornets.
Yeah.
Him ripping his shoe feels like another step in the, Michael Jordan and I aren't going to hang out anytime soon.
Michael Jordan is a classic grudge holder, though, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't know how you can hold a grudge against Charles. Like, Charles says nonsense stuff all the time. It's like, it should flow right over your head.
Love him having to end the story with, that's a true story. just to clarify, all the other stories I'm telling you, there's a chance they're not true.
The true story.
This one, it's a true story.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead, next.
All right, so as we all know, Barry Bonds is one of the most feared hitters in MLB history to the point where he has the most intentional walks with 688. Well, Ryan Dempster was on the Up in Baseball podcast and told a story about being pressured into pitching to Barry Bonds.
Bonds is in the middle of hitting homers off of everybody that throw it over the plate. And he was kind of getting pitched around a lot, just never getting thrown to, And I'm getting ready to go out the dugout to start the bottom of the first. And I turn around and Millar's right there and he's like, hey, you don't got any hair on your nuts if you don't throw Barry Bonds 4-seam fastballs down the middle and find out what you got. And I'm like, oh, all right, okay. So I get the first two guys out and here comes Barry, last episode's playing, the whole crowd's going nuts. Barry hasn't even done his shoes up because we're just going to walk them. I throw a first pitch fastball right down the middle, and he's like, oh, shit, I'll tighten this up then.
We're really doing this, huh?
Yeah, we're going to do this. Throw another one, fouls it straight back. Right? He just missed hitting a homer. He didn't just miss rolling over. And then I throw the next one, 4-seam fastball, like 95, right down the middle. He tattoos it off the top right corner of the right center wall for a triple. And then I come back, and he's like, man, you should have got your stuff in Mexico,
Wait a minute. Should get your stuff in Mexico. What's that mean?
I'm trying to figure that out myself.
What was that line?
I don't know what he was necessarily pinpointing to, but that was Kevin Millar that pressured him into throwing those 4-seam fastballs.
Kevin Millar. Ryan Dempster seemed like a cool guy.
Sounds like a cool guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone that's got good Barry Bonds stories to me,
that's a good. Baseball players have the best stories.
They do.
Yes.
They really do.
I don't want. Is it the individualistic nature of the sport? Like, I think a pitcher talking about pitching, like, this is one of the things I pick Ricky's brain about all the time, like, pitching different guys, what it was like going against these guys, facing these guys, and then for, like, hitters going one-on-one with a certain pitcher. Like, I think that kind of makes some of the, like, I don't know if that's why the nature of their stories in the sport are better, or it's a marathon of a season.
It's a marathon of a season. There's so many. every day is a different story.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, that having a story about Barry Bonds just tattooing a pitch off you, it's got to be awesome.
Yeah, it's classic. All right, last one.
Alrighty, so finally we're going to go and talk about some Deion Sanders primetime action. Apparently the Hall of Fame is not cheap, as primetime explained on the Say What Needs to Be Said, hosted by former Eagle cornerback Asante Samuel in regards to how to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
And I'm going to tell you what people don't know, man. The Hall of Fame costs too. It ain't free. The team you played the most years with, you're going to have to ride with them now. Because if you ain't ride with them and they ain't ride with you, it's going to cost you about $250.
What?
It ain't nobody got there to be paying.
What?
Yeah. That's why I see everybody criticizing T.O., but T.O. was one of the smartest guys to do it. Because he said, if y'all going to do that, I might as well do it how I do it. I'm going to do mine at the crib. I'm going to do mine at the high school. If you really got love for me, I ain't finna pay all this. Dog, it cost.
The things you don't think about.
They fly you up there with 2 tickets.
I'm trying to bring a whole lot of the Lakes football optimist team if they ever select me.
And you going to pay better than one of them. And you're going to be scrambling to get a hotel room. You're going to have a way to sleep or somewhere. Let me tell you something, man. This stuff costs. It ain't no joke.
Wait a minute. What does he say? What costs $250?
So you have to pay for the induction day? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, so essentially you have to pay for the people that you want to be there. Mind you.
You have to pay for the people.
The people to be there. You have to book the people. They also went on and talked about how they have to set up specific tents and that whatever they sign and sell that the Pro Football Hall of Fame wants a percentage of. It was a pretty good clip. He went on to talk about how when he was at NFL Network, him and Marshall Faulk combined their tent and then they catered Popeyes.
Now,
well, this doesn't happen in baseball. Maybe it does. That's a question for Jason Stark when we have him on.
Now, a further question on this is how in the world does Colorado have all that NIL money and they can't find him a good mic?
Yeah, it wasn't clear.
What in the where is he doing this from? I mean, his car?
It wasn't
off his phone?
No, it wasn't.
You're Deion Sanders. I don't care whose podcast
I couldn't figure out what he was saying there.
Yeah, he's muffled. It's terrible. I understand. Maybe Asante Samuel doesn't have the biggest production company going right now, but let's.
How's Asante Samuel's podcast doing? What's the name of that? Say what you need. Say what you need to be said.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Say what you need to be said.
Say what you need to be said.
I know he's put some quotes out there that's gained some attention from media circles. So I guess you could say it's up and at it.
A guy that follows me on Twitter.
Asante Samuel follows you.
Very strange. Don't know why.
Well, maybe he's following all these media guys that are on the upper rise. Is he following Bill?
Why is he following me?
I don't know, man. He sees you as the future. But I'm curious about these podcasts. Like, how do they put these guys under like? Is there some company paying Asante Samuel, or is he just doing it? How's it work? I don't know how it works.
Bet that he's just doing it, and then hoping that one of these
somebody would pick it up.
Yeah.
Well, why would a production company pick up a podcast? All due respect, like, why would it be interested in Asante Samuel podcast?
Because you're saying what needs to be said. That's I don't know.
Right,
There's too many. I think we're going to see. And I
mean, was he a big enough name that I can't wait to hook on and see what Asante says?
Well, that's what he wants now. He's trying to get his content out there. So you know what? When something happens in the NFL, you go to see what Asante
there's not that many people know who he is.
You don't think so?
No, I don't know if he's that famous, is he?
Do you think he missed the boat? Because I feel like there's a certain 2 or 3 year window post playing career that if you're going to hook into media, you kind of have to hook in right away.
He comes out now, and he's been an afterthought for so many years.
Yeah, I think it's a little late.
Like his kid gets more pub than he does.
That was the big thing that when I was I understand some of us here are tired of the Kelceys, but Jason Kelce played it right. You went playing career,
right into it.
Biggest media thing, and now you can ride the media train for 20 years where people will grow up with, Jason Kelce's that guy on ESPN.
I don't know how these podcasts exist or how they,
the bubble's got to burst at some point.
All right. There's too many, right?
There are too many.
Yeah. All right. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. Chat board, the text board, and the telephone calls. We'd love to speak with you on this new version of the Mike Missanelli Show. We're back after this.
Philadelphia Union Soccer.
It's 114, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. Well, we talked about Saquon Barkley a little earlier in the show, and we kind of, I think it's a cautionary tale here. A guy that has 400 or more touches the next year really doesn't fare that well. Hopefully that does not happen because this guy is a superhuman, and I expect that he will have a similar year this year than he did last year. But there is that chance of a fall off, right?
Yeah, I think there absolutely is. And you go through the 2,000-yard rushers, and because our friend with the legal pad isn't here, I decided to take down some notes today and to go down this path. So 2,000-yard rushers from season to season, where the drop-off was. OJ drops off about 800 yards. And remind you, it's going from 2,000 yards, so you're still looking at productive next season. Dickerson drops about 900 yards. Sanders drops about 600 yards. The Stark one is Terrell Davis, where it goes 2,000 to 200. Only played in 4 games that season. Jamal Lewis goes 2,000 to 1,000 in just 12 games the next season. You lose 700 yards, we go Chris Johnson. Lose 800 yards, you go Adrian Peterson. And then Derrick Henry's another Stark one where you go from the over 2,000 to under 1,000, where he only plays in 8 games the next year. That's like your worst case scenario right now, because I don't think you're built as a team. And shocker, I know. You're not built to sustain one of the best players in all the NFL going down, but you're not built at the running back position right now where you have anything that's proven in that backfield if Saquon is banged up and misses time, which is why I think you have to watch what you're doing in terms of the touches this year for him. I understand as your driving force of success last year, but there's a reason you paid A.J. Brown that money. There's a reason you paid Devontae Smith that money. Dallas Goedert's still here. You can't have the stark difference between rushing and passing the ball.
So let me ask you. You expect the passing game to take an uptick this year. How many passes per game does Jalen Hurts average this year?
He averaged this past season? Or the
coming season.
The coming season?
Considering that they may have to lessen the workload for Saquon Barkley.
Right. So,
and Kevin Patullo has to adjust to this.
And yeah, that's the great question for Patullo. So just looking from last season, they only 15 games, only threw 360 passes. And you think about that early portion of the season, they're passing a lot, just how much they dialed it down. You're probably asking him per game, in terms of attempts per game, somewhere in the low to mid 30s.
Really?
Probably. I'm trying
30 plus passes per game for Jalen, huh?
360 divided by the 15 gets you to 24 passing attempts per game. If you're trying to take back a few touches for Barkley per game, you're probably dialing that up, maybe 30. Maybe you're looking at 30 pass attempts per game.
8 more, maybe. 6 to 8 more.
6 to 8 more.
Okay.
I mean, I think that
is he up to that? Is he a good enough passer to uptick it to maybe 8 more passes a game?
I think so.
Okay.
I think he's a good enough passer to do that for you. Again, we're not talking about the 6 to 8 20-yard passes down the field. I mean, you have receivers that can move the change. We talked about all season, every week, when we got to like that conversation about the passing offense, whether it happened Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because it happened almost every week with this running game, there was one thing that you called for consistently in the season. What was that with the passing game?
I called for?
You called for consistently. It's a play that everyone, I think, across
the slant.
Oh. To A.J. Brown. I'm not telling you need 6 to 8 passes where you're trying to go over the top, but if you, like that, going over the middle to A.J. Brown just seems like a real easy. Or how about, we always talk about what would it be like if they gave Dallas Goedert a couple more targets. We're talking possession plays here. I'm not telling you I need explosives. I'm not Ben Johnson sitting here telling you every play needs to be an explosive play. I'm telling you that some of those running plays, they love to give you the short passes are an extension of our running game.
Yeah.
Great. Give me that instead of running the running back into the ground for a second consecutive season.
Okay. Meanwhile, Saquon has been making the rounds everywhere.
Yeah.
You see him on commercials. You see him be a guest here. He's opening this over here. He's at a golf course over here.
Steakwans.
Yeah. The Steakwan thing. And they did a blind ranking thing of Philly athletes with Bleacher Report. Now, explain what this is, Ray.
Yeah, so for those that are not as chronically online as me, it's a big thing, I think, TikTok, Instagram Reels, where they'll give you a player, and they'll give you 5 players, but they give you one at a time, and you have to put that player within the ranking. So if I gave you Nick Foles, which is how this one starts, you would have to rank him 1 to 5 without knowing who the other 4 athletes were, and then they continue one at a time, reveal them, and you rank them blindly instead of being given 5 players and having to rank them.
So if you gave me Nick Foles, I would say 5.
Correct.
Because that's the way I would feel.
Yes.
There had to be 4 more important than Nick Foles.
To you,
Okay,
yes,
to
that
me.
would be the way it would go.
So I would do that.
The second one they give him is Allen Iverson.
Okay. Allen Iverson would be 2.
2. Okay, so you got Allen Iverson 2, Nick Foles at 5. Joel Embiid.
I'd have to go 3 then.
3.
Yeah.
All right. Bryce Harper.
1.
Jason Kelsey.
4.
So you're.
Oh, I see.
I think you ended up in a pretty good spot.
I
with
did.
this
All
one.
right. So that's interesting.
So
right.
I've got another one for if you want to do this again.
All right. Well,
coming up.
let's hear what Saquon did though. First, we would go, and then you do one for me.
I'll do one for you.
All right. This is how Saquon did it.
Have you blind ranked these Philly athletes?
I just put my eyes on them.
Nah, so we're starting out. Nick Foles.
Damn. Well, Nick won a chip, but like I know who's won. I'm gonna go 4.
Allen Iverson.
1.
Bryce Harper.
2.
Joel Embiid.
3.
Jason Kelsey.
Oh damn, that's crazy. 5, I guess, right? Yeah, I would have it at 5.
All right. So he went a little too early on Nick Foles with 4, and he got calling his pants down with Kelsey being 5.
Right. Well, because the idea is you don't want to overrank early, but you never know what's coming at the end.
Yeah. Now I made a mistake in the context of the ones you gave me. AI should be number 1.
Right.
But I got pigeonholed, and I had to make Bryce 1.
Well, you had Allen Iverson early, so you thought, hey, listen, there's going to be one that's probably better than Allen Iverson.
I thought that maybe you would go with Julius Erving or Charles Barkley or somebody like that.
Yeah, there's a potential for
Wilt
that.
Chamberlain.
Wilt Chamberlain could have came.
Yeah. All right. Okay. This is interesting. You got one for me now?
I got one for you now.
What? Give me 2.
All right. Let's start. Donovan McNabb.
Donovan McNabb. 3.
3. All right. We'll go McNabb. I think that's the safe early pick. Going 3 with whoever you get. Jimmy Rollins.
2.
All right. Dr. J.
1.
All right. Zach Wheeler.
5.
And Brian Dawkins slots in at number 4.
4.
So you end up going. I think the one.
I think I'm
one
good
that
at
you'll
this
take
game,
back. I
man.
think you are good at this game. I think this is a game that you would
I
really
like
enjoy.
this game.
So you go Dr. J, Rollins, McNabb, Dawkins, Zach Wheeler.
Yes.
The only thing that I think you would have back, knowing you, Dawkins to 3, or would you keep the
What did I have?
McNabb?
What did I have? Dawkins?
4.
I had him 4, and who did I have 3?
McNabb.
You see, he's no longer the best quarterback here, but he was.
Mm-hmm.
No, I would flop them now.
You flopped them?
I'd flop them now. I gave McNabb a little too much credit.
That's the quarterback position. I feel like that's the nature of the position.
I keep thinking that he's the best quarterback in Eagle history. He's been surpassed.
Yeah.
So, I usually gave him the reverence of being the best quarterback in Eagle history, which to me is the most important position in sports. So I give great reverence to that.
Yeah, you don't get an argument with me on that.
All right. 610-632-0975. This is a fun game, man. Let's play this a little, Let's play it again.
I'll come up with a few more for you.
Yeah, come up with a few more for me. Mike Missanelli Show continues on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones, and this is your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies snapped their 4-game losing streak last night as they defeated the Toronto Blue Jays 8-3. Trey Turner hit 2 home runs, and Bryce Harper returned to the lineup and proceeded to hit a home run in his first at-bat. Christopher Sanchez went 6 innings, allowing 1 run, and won his 5th game of the year. Tonight, Mick Abel will be on the mound for his 2nd career start, and hopefully he can have the same type of mojo from his first start, where he had 6 scoreless innings and 9 strikeouts versus the Pirates. First pitch is set for 7:07. And as we know, the Eagles lost some key players at the edge position during the offseason. Yesterday, defensive coordinator Vic Fangio spoke about a couple of players he feels good about.
I feel good about Nolan. I think we'll feel good about Jalix, now that he's going to get a lot of reps and develop. He played good for us down the stretch last year and played a lot, as you saw. I feel good about those 2 guys, and I think they'll continue to improve.
This update's also brought to you by WhatsApp. WhatsApp, your personal messages stay private because your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even WhatsApp. WhatsApp, message privately with everyone. I'm Austin Jones on the home of the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
7.5, The Fanatic. The 12 o'clock hour is brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at servicefirsthvac.com. And, we have a great deal. This week's big friggin' deal, as we call it, on our website. A same-day ride and water park combo ticket to Maurice Piers for just $70. That's a $50 saving per ticket for unlimited rides on 3 piers and both water parks for a whole day. Make this summer unforgettable at Maurice Piers. This is right up your alley, right?
This is quite literally right up my alley. The lazy river has been calling my name for a while.
Yes.
Problem is, the kids don't understand the purpose of the lazy river. The
Correct.
lazy river is not to be pushing. You're supposed to just lay in the lazy river and let it take you.
Right.
That's the whole point of
Yes.
it. I'm a big fan of one.
A lot of people are saying this today is Wednesday. And why didn't we do General Knowledge Wednesday?
Yeah, we got about an hour and I realized it as well. And I was like,
And I thought that for this first day without Bill, that we would postpone General Knowledge Wednesday to tomorrow.
General Knowledge Thursday.
It'll be General Knowledge Thursday.
And it'll be the middle of
tomorrow.
our non-bill week. So it's kind of like the Wednesday of our non-bill week.
Correct. So it's still you versus the audience.
Yeah, that's fine.
You okay with that?
I'm used to battling them.
And and tomorrow's prize will be a pair of tickets to see Luke Bryan. Now that's big time for you country people.
I was gonna say, that sounds like a concert that Mike Miss.
Mike Miss will not be there.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people will be there because a lot of people likely he's very popular. Country
He's someone I would
performer.
consider going to
You
see.
would go see?
I consider it.
All right. His Country Song Came On tour. That's what it's called? Country Song Came On?
Country Song Came On. That's honestly the way I consume country music. Oh, it came on. All right. Yeah, I'll listen to it. Why not?
Anyway, it's this Friday at the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. So we'll give you the tickets tomorrow for Friday's show.
Works for me.
All right?
I might take them. If I win, I might take them.
You might have to take them. Depending on how many calls we get.
610.
Yeah, 610-632-0975. We'd love to hear from you. How you feeling about Bill not being here? I'd love to hear from you. Now, what the text board and the chat is all right. You're immersed in the chat today. What's the chat saying, Ray?
The chat loved the blind rankings thing and started to go off on some of our fun asides that we've had before. They want us to do a pizza toppings blind ranking. They also want your jarred sauces blind ranking.
Jarred sauce. I have everything.
Ragu
number 100, not 5. I have no blind ranking on sauces because I've never had any. So you believe that?
Never in your life.
I have never in my life had a jarred sauce.
That's hard to believe. It's hard to believe, and it's not hard to believe.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not something that was done.
Right. It doesn't sound like the way you grew up that would be the
we have no experience in jar sauce, and even when as I'm an adult, I don't cut corners if I'm going to make a sauce, or if I'm going to use a sauce or have some kind of Italian that requires sauce, I'm making it because that's how I grew up.
So I'm curious for you. Is it like a big process where you make the sauce and then you jar it for future use? Because you can't go through that process like consistently every single time, right? Like would you jar your own?
There's 2 ways to make a good sauce. One is a marinara, one is a Sunday gravy.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Sunday gravy, you make a big pot.
Right.
And you mix in your meatballs and your sausage or whatever you're using. Some people like braciole. You know what braciole is?
Educate me.
You don't know. It's like a flank steak, pounded really thin, and you put stuff inside it, like a breadcrumb mixture.
I see what
sautéed onions, pine nuts, whatever,
yeah.
and you roll it, and then you brown it, and you put that in the gravy, and that's a 3-hour process on a Sunday. So that's a Sunday sauce. But a marinara sauce, and people say, well, how do you make a marinara? You get a good can of San Marzano tomatoes. Now there are tomatoes in a can, and there are San Marzano tomatoes. San Marzano tomato is going to cost you almost $5 a can. The other one sometimes you get 99 cents. But if you really want to make a good marinara sauce, you use the San Marzano tomatoes, and you take them out. You either put them in a food processor or you put them in a big bowl, and you squeeze them with your hands. And you disintegrate the tomatoes with your hands. And now you got a tomato base. And so what you do then from that point on is that you saute some chopped up garlic. You saute some chopped up basil with the same in the same process with a little nice, good quality olive oil, and then you dump the tomatoes that have been crushed in there, and you simmer it for a little bit, and then you put like a couple of teaspoons or tablespoons of tomato paste in there to thicken it up. You salt, pepper it, and then you mix maybe if you put a little sugar in it. Well, sometimes I put like a balsamic vinegar touch in there, or a red wine, depending on whether you want it sweet or non-sweet. And there's your marinara sauce, and you cook that for like an hour at most. What'd you do? Write it down?
I wrote it all down right there. I'm taking notes.
There you go.
You said when we started this show I was going to learn a thing or two about living from you. I'm going to learn a thing or two about living from
Ray
you.
must have seen me back here jotting the same thing
Well,
down.
were you jotting it down?
Of course.
It's really simple. All you need is a good quality tomato. You get some good quality chopped up garlic, some fresh basil, and then you depending on whether you could put a little balsamic glazed vinegar in there, or you can put a little sugar. But you got to obviously do the salt and pepper thing as well.
If I was really smart, what I would do is just keep writing down every time you give us recipes, and then I come out with the Ray Dunn cookbook, which is just so influenced by my life, and it's really just all your recipes.
Well, there you go. So sometimes you could put a little sausage. You brown up some sausage, and your marinara sausage, if you want a little meat flavor with it, you sprinkle in some fragmented sausage, and then you got a nice marinara that you can put over pasta. Boom. Now, I make my fresh pasta, too, but people don't, you can obviously buy box pasta. That's perfectly fine.
I'm going to start with making the fresh sauce. Okay. Then I'll get down to the pasta route. All right? One step at a time.
Experiment with it. Experiment, you know? It's a nice price. It's simple, and people ask me all the time, how do I make it? It's all complicated. It's not complicated. You need a good tomato. You need to crush them up. You can need a nice fresh garlic and fresh basil, and boom, you got a marinara sauce.
For all the back and forth we've had about my dating life on this show, the one thing that I will say is at some point I have to learn to cook at a higher level.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes time to, settle down.
Do you make your own pizza?
I do not.
You do not?
I do not.
Now, here's the simplest way to make your own pizza. You go to a grocery store, they always got the frozen dough. They got frozen pizza dough. They make it for you. Sometimes it's not frozen. You just buy a loaf of dough. You get that dough. Now, the sauce that I just gave you, to make it more of a pizza sauce, you put oregano in it. You oregano it, and you make it sweeter with a little more sugar. Then I'll give you a pizza sauce. Then you can get that dough that you buy at the grocery store. You roll it out a little bit. You can toss it if you want. But you roll it out, you put it on a pizza pan, boom. You get your own little pizza gravy, and you can put your own toppings on it. Boom. Just like that.
Sounds wonderful. Now I got...
And that'll cost you like maybe $5 at most, where you're paying $25 for a pizza when you go out.
See, Mike, I got a follow-up question. What about a white sauce or white gravy?
Oh, as far as for a pasta?
Yes.
I don't usually make a white gravy.
Okay.
But this is like a tomato guy. Like if you want to make, I don't even know how to make a white gravy. You're talking about like an Alfredo?
Yeah, like an Alfredo.
Yeah, I don't mess with the white creamy stuff. But that's going to be a lot of cheese, a lot of some heavy cream. You can still saute your garlic in there. You put a little heavy cream in there. Maybe a little chicken broth to give the white gravy a little taste. But I usually don't roll with that.
All right, I appreciate the insight.
I don't do the creamy stuff.
All right.
The food conversation has gone onto the YouTube chat. I just have to say, Neil, our guy Neil on YouTube, just said he went down to Del Rossi's, which is my neighborhood, to get a cheesesteak there.
Yeah.
And he says it's top 3 in the city, which is a pretty strong take on that one. But if you have not had a cheesesteak from there or their pizza from there, Del Rossi's has become my neighborhood spot.
Where is that?
That's 4th and Spring Garden, 3rd and Spring Garden.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot.
Oh, it's so good. I'll
tell you, a lot of good cheesesteak places in the city.
Yeah.
You can't. I said this the other day. Sometimes you go to a pizza place and it's a Greek pizza place. It's different than Italian pizza. It's like more like Domino's than anything, right? Mm-hmm. But you can't get really bad pizza.
No, it's very hard to get
different degrees. And I say the same thing about a cheesesteak. In the city, when you buy a cheesesteak in the city, chances are every cheesesteak is going to be good. Some are exceptional.
Yeah, I think this hits the exceptional realm, Del Rossi's. The cedar roll with it,
a lot of people have their own favorite cheesesteak places.
It's become mine because it's so close.
Yeah.
Like, I could walk down there, get a cheesesteak, walk back. Any free Sunday I have or a big game on, go down to Del Ross to get a cheesesteak.
I used to go to Larry's Belly Filler right down the street.
Down the street?
And there's one in your neighborhood,
There
too.
is,
isn't there?
yeah. I've gone up to that one every once in a while. If I'm going up Gerard Way.
That was Kobe's spot. There's a shrine to Kobe.
Yeah.
Over there, because that's where he used to get his cheese.
My brother's a Hawk Hill guy.
That's right.
He's been over to Larry's plenty
Of course,
times.
Larry's.
How could you not be?
That's a late night Hawk spot, isn't it?
It is.
610. There is nothing better than getting a load on as a young college student and then going late night cheesesteak up the wazoo.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
A lot of DoorDash orders.
It's perfect. The grease and the drunkenness. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Weekdays. Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic.
I love these offbeat stories, right? So there's an offbeat story about the Gotti grandsons, John Gotti's grandsons.
Tell me about
You seen this story?
Yeah, I went and read about
John, so they have a brother-in-law who broke into the house. It's the brother of one of the Gotti grandson's wife. So the guy broke into a house. Their house, the Gotti grandson, married with the wife, the sister, and he stole a lot of the sister's stuff, like watches and stuff like that. So now, if you're a Gotti, right, you've got no choice but to do what?
Continue to the family name here.
No, if you're a Gotti, that's such a violation for a mob guy. It's like, he's got to get an ass whooping.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So,
you got to live up to the family name.
Yes, right. So they tracked down the brother-in-law and beat the hell out of him.
Did you read what the attorney said?
What the attorney said.
You know, this fella, Gino Gabrielli, had some issue, and the brothers went to talk to him. And I don't know. I guess he got a little smart.
He got a little smart.
It's the official statement from the attorney.
He got a little smart. We had to smack him up a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I'm too red of a beard to do the voice, but that's the way I read it.
They beat the hell out of the guy. First of all, he goes into the sister's house, and the husband's a Gotti. Goes into the sister's house and steals a watch, a wallet, and a belt. And so they find out. And then they go find him. I swear to God, it's like The Godfather, where Sonny found out about Carlo, and he beat him with the trash can. I mean, it's just classic.
I'm just laughing. The attorney's official statement, I don't know, I guess he got a little smart.
He got a little smart. They knocked some sense into him. Gino got what was coming home.
Yeah, just a quarrel between in-laws.
Got what was coming home, the kid.
Who hasn't broken into...
The kid stepped out of line, we had to beat him up.
Who hasn't broken into their in-laws and stole things from them and
give him a
roughed them
couple
up?
whacks. We gave him a couple whacks. We could have done a lot worse. It was just a message to the kid.
He believes the case will be tossed because Gabrielli would need to sign a supporting deposition within
he's not gonna
60
do it.
days. He doesn't think he'll
Now he's afraid.
He needed money for boxing lessons, apparently. Gino got what was coming to him.
And Gino, I told my sister from the jump, you don't marry this guy. This guy's a bad guy. Oh, that's classic, man.
Way to stay in the news and keep it the family name. You know? It's good by them.
Gino Gabrielli, his name is.
Yeah.
He stepped out of line.
Got a little smart.
Disgrace the family's name. What we got on the text board, Austin?
We still got a lot of people texting about the 76ers small ball play.
Oh, yes. Do we have a role for somebody? Who we got?
Well, if he was still here, it would have been, but Ben Simmons plays the lead role, who drops in the last minute.
Oh, Ben Simmons plays the role. That's very nice. Very nice.
And then another texter goes and says, I wonder what Mike's reaction would be if Daryl Morey won a Tony Award.
All right, here you go. This is how we spin this. Better chance the Sixers get out of the second round or the play wins a Tony. 610-632.
No, it wouldn't be a Tony. It'd be a Tony Bradley Award. He'd win. Tony Bradley!
Give
Tony Bradley! He's alive and well!
Tony Bradley,
in case the people don't
in the
know
NBA
what we're
Finals.
talking about, Daryl Morey is producing a play called Small Ball, which opens on Friday at the Suzanne Roberts Theater in Philadelphia. It was inspired by Stephon Marbury time playing in China.
Oh.
Somehow.
That's how it was inspired?
Yeah, it was. Well, this guy wanted to pen a script exploring the theme of an outsider in a foreign land, which is what this thing is.
Interesting.
6-inch players. And Daryl Morey, he saw Daryl Morey's counsel on it, and so.
And we're still not receiving the invitation for opening night.
No, but Daryl apparently is proud of it. It's called Small Ball, and he's involved.
Listen, if the season didn't go the way the season went, I'd be like, hey, good for him pursuing his passions. The season went the way it went. I'm a little upset that in June we're talking about small ball, and small ball's a play, and not how is this the way they're going to match up with someone.
Yeah. Anyway, this guy who was one of the stars, his name is Adam Chandler Barra, another accomplished New York-based actor who plays a psychotic, unhinged, deranged, tortured, evil villain assistant coach named Pippin. So there's the name Pippin in it, and there's the name Michael Jordan in this movie.
And Pippin's evil?
Pippin is evil. It's not spelled Pippen. It's spelled Pippin, spelled like the musical Pippin.
I mean, that's probably
Pippin.
You keep yourself from any, defamation here. Make it the villain, Pippin.
Yeah.
What? Pippin's gone through enough. Like, why we got to drag Pippin through the dirt on this one?
Pippin is the villain, and Michael Jordan apparently is the hero in this.
That doesn't feel historically accurate.
Is this The Last Dance?
Yeah, what is this?
It's what it sounds like. It's The Last Dance.
Pippin's been through enough, man. Leave that poor guy alone. Now Jordan's coming back to do media. Pippin's going to somehow get a subliminal shot taken at him a number of times.
Oh, man.
Leave that man alone.
In any event, what else we got on the text board, Austin?
More play talk. It says, Paul George, he's just going to be the narrator more than an actual actor.
Oh, there you go.
Give him the
I
microphone.
like these. I like these. You could take somebody on the current team and give them a role in this musical produced by Daryl Morey. Meanwhile, I look around. Tom Thibodeau just got fired after a tremendous run for the Knicks, something I haven't seen in like 50 years. He gets fired. The more he keeps his job and produces a silly musical in town.
Isn't it a great time?
Is this different? Is Philadelphia different than New York or what?
Very. Well, it seems like they're different across the NBA right now because Malone goes, Thibs goes, and it's like, status quo. We had the disaster of a season. We had the worst possible outcome for our season. Well, I guess they got the pick, so that would be the worst.
On the other side, I want to present something that happened at the Penn Relays, that pro track event.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not like going to be what you think, because Gabby Thomas got heckled. But
Really?
she got heckled for a betting reason. So we have a dilemma here. We have a dilemma that you need to solve, Ray.
Oh, boy. First day in this chair, I got to solve the world's
would
problems.
you heckle somebody if it benefited your pocketbook as a bet?
I probably have good evidence on this one on the other side.
610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones, and this is your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies snapped their 4-game losing streak last night as they beat the Blue Jays 8-3. Trey Turner hit 2 home runs, and Bryce Harper returned to the lineup and decided to go about and hit a home run himself in his first at-bat, returning from that elbow injury. Christopher Sanchez went 6 innings, allowing 1 run, and won his 5th game on the year. Tonight, Mick Abel will be on the mound for his 2nd career start, and hopefully he can have some of that mojo from his last start when he had 6 scoreless innings and 9 strikeouts versus the Pirates. First pitch is set for 7:07. And as we know, the Eagles lost some key players on the defensive end position. And yesterday, defensive coordinator Vic Fangio spoke about a couple of players that he feels good about.
I feel good about Nolan. I think we'll feel good about Jalix, now that he's going to get a lot of reps and develop. He played good for us down the stretch last year and played a lot, as you saw. I feel good about those 2 guys, and I think they'll continue to improve.
This update is also brought to you by AAA Tire and Auto Service. Come into your local AAA Tire and Auto Service location and save $40 on any repair of $150 or more. Offer valid through June 13th. Details at AAA.com/mycar. I'm Austin Jones, on the home of the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
12:55. Looks like we're going to have to get Stephen A. Smith on the show soon.
You have time?
Because today he inked a long-term deal with SiriusXM to host 2 shows, not one.
What?
Yes, 2 shows. Starting in September, Smith will host a new daily sports talk show, which will air on Mad Dog Sports Radio Channel 82. And then he will create a weekly current events, pop culture, and social commentary focused show, which will air on a non-sports Sirius XM channel to be announced at a later date.
Wow.
How many jobs does this guy have? How could he fit all this stuff in? How could he have that much content in his head?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. How do you have that many thoughts? Like some days when we leave here.
I just don't understand it. I mean, my man can talk, that's for sure. But when does the talk run out?
I don't know, because sometimes when I leave here after a day,
talk out.
My brain just doesn't work. Like I got nothing for you. I got nothing more to give. I don't understand how he does as much as he does.
Wait a minute. $20 million a year isn't enough for the guy. He's making $20 million a year with ESPN. He needs more.
Well, I guess this is probably the holdup in his contract when he wanted all that freedom. I guess this was it. Also, hilariously, he's going to be on Mad Dog Radio. Like that's rich. Like,
yeah, well,
that's funny.
I don't know. How come I didn't start my own production company? Like, how come I don't have Mike Miss Radio? Where did I go wrong?
Where was your invitation when XM got started to do the Mike Miss Radio?
I don't know.
Actually, program that for me. Mike Miss Radio for you.
Mike Miss Radio?
Who, of the industry would you want from, let's go 6 a to 10 p.m.? Like, if you could give, 3-hour shifts out, to anyone nationally that you would want on the Mike Miss Radio.
Yeah, I don't know.
Stephen A.?
I guess Stephen A.
You're poaching Isola?
Isola? Yeah, because Isola is he's like a clone of me. So I'd have to put guys that are clones. Is there a Mad Dog character that I would use other than Mad Dog? I don't know. I don't know of anybody out there. I really don't. I don't pay attention much to other things out there.
Is there an athlete that you would want on those airwaves?
Well, Barkley I'd want.
Okay, there you go.
As an everyday, occurrence.
Seems like a lot for Barkley has to do every day.
Yeah,
he's talking
I know.
about ESPN.
But I would have Barkley do a Barkley show, but he wouldn't do it.
We could convince him.
I would co-host with Barkley. I'd be part of the Mike Miss Radio. Would be part I got co-host one show, and I would do it with Barkley.
You and Barkley.
That would be the easiest show I could ever possibly do. I just wind him up and let him go.
Yeah, which is hysterical. We got to get him back in here at some point in the near future. Because watching you, I obviously had listened to it before, but being a part of it, what was it, September when he came in?
Yeah.
And watching you just wind him up and just watching his brain work in 7 different directions was great.
Yeah, he usually wants to do it in August because this is the early part of he doesn't want to be bothered in the early part when he comes back here. But August, he'd be right to do it.
He's got to get the golf swing right.
Well,
he's got to be back here soon, right?
I think he might be back now.
So what, we all got to go down to the Palladium, just camp out and wait?
He's hanging around with Dan Patrick too much. I don't think I like that. I'm a little jelly.
Hey, he didn't get a lot of time with Dan Patrick.
I don't know what he sees in Dan Patrick.
Yeah.
He's not as cool as me.
He could get better.
Yeah, all right. Any event. It's 1 o'clock, and you're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show. It's on 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. And we broadcast every day from the Comcast Business Studios. All right, so let's start the 1 o'clock hour. This is that new. It was our deal of the week, I think.
General
Knowledge tickets, the pro track circuit, and all the great Olympians were performing, including Gabby Thomas, who I'm a big Gabby Thomas fan. Not only is she a great athlete, she's tremendous looking. So Gabby Thomas was at this track event, and a heckler kept following her around, and she lost her race. She finished second. She was verbally abused and followed by a heckler who happened to be an online gambler. She lost the 200 meters to Melissa Jefferson Wooden, and she lost the 100 meters also to Melissa Jefferson Wooden. After the meet, this guy posted screenshots of a bet slip revealing that he won over $2,000 on 2 separate parlays, which both included a win from Jefferson Wooden beating Gabby Thomas. And on X, he writes, I made Gabby lose by heckling her, and it made my parlay win. Ray, your thoughts?
The following around is where I draw the line. Like, that's when it becomes like the guy from Happy Gilmore, where he's following around Happy and just yell, "You suck!" Like that guy.
Yeah.
That's where I think it goes past the line here. Like, because heckling, I think, has been a part of sports since the inception of
how
sports.
else are you going to heckle her? She's mobile. Like, if you're, how many times do we see a basketball player being heckled, especially at the foul line? You suck, we miss. They had the clapper things, right? The whole bit. Is that any different?
Don't think it's any different. But the following around here is, I guess it happens because it's the mobile sport. Not that basketball isn't, but you're in a set location. Like, you're on that court going back and forth. The thing that gets me is, like, the basketball, you are only as effective as your seat.
Yeah.
Like, the following around makes you more effective.
Right. But it's not like he's on the track. He's got to be in the stands. So he's yelling this stuff from the stands. He's not close to her.
Is there a more, like, I ran track. I don't remember a decorum of, like, silence. You know, you're yelling, you're cheering, there's a whole thing.
Right. So he's giving her the business the whole bit. In mind, he's got a bet on it. Now, so does
he
this
went personal on this too, which people go personal.
Does it make it any like if your money is at stake, is it a half a violation or a whole violation to heckle a track runner? This is pro track now. This is like is pro. They get paid a lot of money to perform in these meets.
I don't think there's anything wrong with heckling itself. I think when it gets personal, I think the following here is the weird part. Like, I'm not big on the, like, the guy that's sitting in the stands and, like, is looking up actively, like, the person's life and yelling out, like, the lowlights to them.
I'm not trying to defend this guy because I think the guy's a crumb. All right, because I don't like any heckling at all. I think it's silly. But he's got his, like, this guy probably doesn't have 3 nickels to rub together. So he's trying to grab $2,000 in a parlay. The way he can assure it is that the lady he bets on wins. To influence the lady he bets on wins, he's got to heckle in second place.
Now,
or the challenger.
That's, like, so interesting gray area there on the betting side of things. Aren't you supposed to bet on things that you do not have direct influence on? If he has direct influence on, if I'm that sports book, wait a second. Can you prove that he influenced the race?
Well, you would not pay out if you were in a sports book?
Well, I'm just saying.
You can't prove that he influenced the race.
I can't, but he seems to believe he did.
No, they got to pay that. That guy won $2,000.
They're going to pay it. But, like, I'm saying, like, you are, technically speaking, you're supposed to bet on things you can't influence. Like, we try and influence
Let's get to psychology of this, because I want to discuss this in the 1 o'clock hour with people. The psychology of you heckling somebody, I want to hear from hecklers that have done it in the past, because I don't understand it. When I go to a game, I watch it. I don't heckle. I've never heckled. I've never booed. But people do it all the time. And I'm just curious to know what elicits that kind of response that you would do something like that. They say, I look at this and I go, other people do it for no reason whatsoever. This guy did it for a reason. He's trying to win 2,000.
Well, I think you do it, I think of fans, the person that's sitting in the third row that wants their team to win, like you're trying to heckle the other side. This guy has a monetary, the intersection of the betting and the fandom really becomes interesting in these types of things where you're ripping on someone in hopes that you win a bet or that you actually have an influence on what happens. Like, how much influence do you think the regular heckler at, like, a Major League Baseball game has? Little? Like, we all know the guy that screams out when the ball's the fly ball.
If you have rabbit ears or not. There's a lot of guys in the on-deck circle that have rabbit ears.
Yeah.
That hear everything. And, like, Bryce in the past is engaged with people.
Right.
Now, that fuels him.
I wouldn't heckle him.
Yeah, that fuels him.
Yeah, that would be
Other people, I don't know. A professional athlete should use that as fuel. I get it. Sometimes you're a little sensitive to it. I'm thinking that she was very sensitive. She's probably never, ever, ever at any level been heckled at a track meet. Most people are rooting for her.
Yeah, I think you almost always root for, like, in those instances, like the name brand. Like, the person that you know is usually, like, Gabby Thomas. Like, you know who that is, so you're going to root for her. You're not going to root for the random runner. No offense to that pro runner, but, like...
So, but here, see, dollars are at stake here. This is why I want to try to draw a distinction here. Why do you heckle? But do you actually have an excuse to heckle if it can benefit you personally? Is that okay? Once it can benefit you personally to heckle, does it take the starch out of the creepiness of heckling?
It's still creepy to me. Maybe I'm not degenerate
No,
enough.
I think it's creepy to both of us, and probably creepy to you too, Austin. Right?
Yeah, I've never
You're not
been
a heckler, right?
No, I mean I've booed, but I'm not sitting there.
Now, why have you booed?
Well, number one, it's been about the player that probably left not on good terms. Like I've been to a few Nets games when Ben Simmons would come back,
okay.
and he's sitting on the court with his atrocious outfit that he had on that one night. Like you deserve to get booed.
He had
for
like
that.
Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat. He dressed as one.
Yeah, and terrible.
So you booed Ben Simmons. See, I'll make one exception for that.
Okay, but in regards to
any kind of hate that you spew for him is justified.
Yeah, but in regards to like just a random player that's on the Sacramento Kings and I'm telling them that like you stink, no, I'm not about that.
You don't say they stink.
No, I'm not. I could care less about the Kings or any other other opponent that comes in here.
I was really close to heckling Furkan Korkmaz when I watched him play.
For them terrible yellow shoes.
Yeah, those shoes were ugly.
You know, it wasn't the shoes. It was, you can't shoot. You can't. And people think you can.
Bomba.
It drives me crazy.
We're trying to develop bombas.
It's like, what? All right. 610-632-09 bombas.
Bombas. That was
see, that's where my man. I liked him a lot, but like that, like I used to, I had a running dialogue. What do you see in him? Like, what do you say? Oh, he could shoot it. Boy, Obama. Now, come on, man. Brett, he can't play. I would tell people that people can't play, and they would look at me like, "How do you know?"
How did you know?
Really?
Everyone else has
you?
told you what they think of Furkan Korkmaz.
Yeah, well,
he had one of the longest runs at what?
He did. It was amazing that people couldn't see through him.
7 years. He was here 7 years. He played 35 games in the 23-24 season. I think a lot of people forget that.
I remember telling Brad Greenberg, who was the Sixers general manager who selected Iverson, how his draft sucked. I'll tell that story after this. 610-632-0975 back after this.
Andrew Salciunas.
The reason why I say we have
112, Mike Missanelli Show. To get in, it's 610-622-0975. We got a lot of texts today, and we have Tim from Phoenixville we're going to talk to in a second. I want to take this time, though. I wanted to bring this up yesterday when Bill was here. But, Ray, you're aware of this guy named John Brenkis?
Yes.
Who did sports science.
Sports nerds like me.
Yes,
loved that show.
Sports science on ESPN. It was an interesting little thing where he would prove scientifically the merits of a dunk or a play, or he would calculate the speed. It was really fascinating in a scientific way. He died, and he battled depression. And I assume that they don't want to announce that this was a suicide based on depression. But Bill and I had just seen him at the Super Bowl. He was at Ron Jaworski's cigar party during the Super Bowl when we were down there.
Really?
Yeah, and he was, he's bopping around. He seemed like he had everybody. He seemed like a jolly type of guy. So it shocked me when this happened. But I guess you never know, man. You never know what demons are eating up people. But that was a sad story when I read that.
Oh, horrible! It's just so sad. Like when you saw it and you saw the age, you were heartbroken, and then you started to read into.
Yeah, he's young.
Died, and to talk about depression, and you start to form your conclusions about what happened there. It's horrible.
I wonder, because that show, I thought they liked it, and all of a sudden it disappeared. And I wonder if it disappeared because of his problems.
Yeah, I don't know where. I was trying to find actually what happened to the show, because I like I said, for me,
yeah, one day it was on, the next day it wasn't. So I don't know what happened. But Bill and I had seen him. I said, Bill, that's the guy. Bill didn't really know who he was, but I go that, and he kind of recognized him. I guess the guy that did sports science for all those years, and he was at the party. Seemed like he was in a gleeful state.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the scary things. The way people kind of put on the face of hey, everything's great.
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that there are people that didn't read that story that he obviously had taken his life. That no more details based on that. Because he died of depression. Well, you can't really die of depression unless depression causes you to act in some way. All right, so let's move on from that story. Let's go back to the phones. We got Tim in Phoenixville checking in. Tim, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Tim?
What's up, Mike?
How you doing?
Good, man. Been a big fan for a long time. Way back since you were with Steve Fredericks.
Wow.
And
it's amazing how many people say that. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to hear it. But it is amazing how people remember that show.
It was a great show, man. It was like some of the start of really great Philly sports radio. And then the first time you were on the station, now you're back again. Been a fan for a long time. Penn State guy too, so go State.
Wow, thanks, Timmy. Much to Ray's chagrin. Go State.
Hey, you guys enjoy.
Yeah, go State.
You guys enjoy it.
Go State. All right, go ahead, Tim. What else you got?
We will enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I just talk about heckling, man. So I'm a Philly guy, born and raised, but I spent 10 years in New York working and got to go to a bunch of baseball games, Mets and Yankees. And you talk about some of the best heckling ever was at Yankee Stadium, at the Mets Stadium, when Pedro Martinez would come into Yankee Stadium, and the whole stadium would be yelling, "Who's your daddy?"
Yeah, that was actually fun. Because it's not attached to us; it's attached to New York. So, and we didn't have any stake in it, so we thought that was cool. And that's the way you got to Pedro. You can get to Pedro by doing that.
The Mets used to go. The Mets, the Braves would come in and they'd yell at Chipper Jones, "Larry."
Yeah, Larry.
Because his real name was Larry. He hated being called Larry.
Yeah, those are funny when the whole crowd gets involved. But when some idiot is getting personal in your face, that's where I draw the line.
Awful. No. But if you're sitting close to the field and the other team's there, hey, you suck. I mean, come on. It's like there's nothing wrong with that. Personal stuff, absolutely not. But a little needling here and there for the other team, nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I actually have when I was a kid, when I was in my teens, I heckled a Cincinnati Reds pitcher. I'm going to tell this story. Anyway, thanks for the call. Tim. His name was Pedro Borbon. I don't know if he was with the Big Red Machine back in the day. And so I got there early with a bunch of friends. I was a punk kid. I was like 15 maybe. And I'm watching the guys run sprints and stuff on the field before the game. And so Pedro, there was a bunch of kids lined up where I was, and the kids are yelling. They got their autograph pads. Pedro, Pedro, Pedro. And it went in to sign an autograph. So he kind of like walked right past them and like completely snubbed them. Didn't even say, "Sorry, kids, I can't do it now." He just walked right past them. So I unleashed a torrent on him. I go, "Come on, Pedro, what are you, too good for these little kids? What's the story, man? Come over here with these kids. Sign a couple of autographs for the kids." And he walked by. Well, I had turned away. Next thing I know, I hear a guy go, "What do you believe you say, man?" And Pedro Barbone, he came back to get at me.
Oh, man. Well, hey, you got him over for the kids.
I go, you heard what I said, man. These kids, and they worship you. Just come over. You can say hello to them or something. He goes, let me tell you something, man. I punch you and break your teeth.
It's like the reverse. Instead of the bad heckling, it's heckling gone bad.
I gotta knock your teeth in. Or something.
My God.
So I go, yeah, well, you could do that. I said, but I would sue you. I was a punk. I was a 15-year-old punk, man. I hated myself, man. I think back then, I go, what did I do that for? Well, you're 15.
15-year-old me would have looked up at him and, okay, this has been fun. I'm gonna walk back upstairs now.
I've always been confrontational, so that's the way that works. All right, so on the other side, I want to tell you the story about Brad Greenberg and how. By the way, this leads to his brother is the guy who does the college basketball, Seth Greenberg, and I had Seth on once, and Seth is still bitter about the way his brother was treated as a general manager in Philadelphia.
Oh.
And he made an interview with him, like he turned it into a belligerent interview, like with me.
It's been
Seth
what?
Greenberg.
30 years at this point?
Yeah, I know. All right, Bo from Wilmington, you hang in there. We'll get to you, and I'll tell the story about the guy Greenberg and how I told him his entire second round was a waste of time. Mike Missanelli Show continues on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones, and this is your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies snapped their 4-game losing streak last night as they beat the Blue Jays 8-3. Trey Turner had 2 home runs, and Bryce Harper returned to the lineup and proceeded to hit a home run in his first at-bat. Christopher Sanchez went 6 innings, allowing 1 run, and won his 5th game on the year. Tonight, Mick Abel will be on the mound for his second career start, and hopefully he can still have some of that mojo left over from his Pittsburgh start, where he went 6 scoreless innings and 9 strikeouts. First pitch is set for 7:07. And as we know, the Eagles lost some key players at the edge position this offseason, and yesterday, Vic Fangio spoke about some players that he feels pretty good on going into this year.
I feel good about Nolan. I think we'll feel good about Jalix, now that he's going to get a lot of reps and develop. He played good for us down the stretch last year and played a lot, as you saw. I feel good about those 2 guys, and I think they'll continue to improve.
This update is also brought to you by WhatsApp. On WhatsApp, your personal messages stay private because your personal messages are yours. No one else can see them or hear them, not even WhatsApp. WhatsApp, message privately with everyone. I'm Austin Jones on the home of the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Sean.
25, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. Somehow I got a coughing fit. Anyhow,
I'm here for you. Don't worry.
Thank you. So in 2000, when did they draft Iverson? 96?
96, I believe.
All right, so the 96 draft, they take Allen Iverson, number 1. Brad Greenberg is the general manager. For people who don't remember that Brad Greenberg was the general manager of the Sixers for a short period of time. So they take Iverson. It's a no-brainer. It's a successful draft. He's got 3 draft picks in the second round. So I'm assigned to do a interview with him. I'm doing a magazine story, I think, on him. And so I'm at his house. And he takes in the second round the Sixers draft pick. You can look at this, 96, right? Verify this. They take Ryan Miner, a guard out of Oklahoma. Jamie Fike, a 6'8 forward out of Michigan State. And I forget Hendrickson's name, but Hendrickson, a 6'10 kid out of Washington State, I believe.
All right.
What was Hendrickson's first name?
Mark
Hendrickson. All right, so they take 3 players.
Yeah, you nailed all 3 of them right
all
there.
3 of them.
Hendrickson, Miner, and
so
the kid from Michigan State.
Yeah. So Greenberg, he's a nice enough guy, and we're having a conversation, and he goes, he's crowing about the draft. He goes, "What? So what do you think of the draft? What do you think of what we did?" I go, "Well, Iverson was a no-brainer." I said, "But you wasted your entire second round." And he says, "What?" I go, "Well, first of all, you took 3 you took 3 Caucasians. I had never in the history of the NBA had 3 Caucasians been drafted in any kind of assembly." I go, "What is the chances that 3 white dudes are going to play in the NBA is very slim." And so we had a little. I had a little laugh about that, and I go, "Well, none of your 3 guys are ever going to play in the NBA." And he said, "What are you talking about?" I go, "I just take the first guy you selected, Ryan Miner. Pretty good guard in college. Played at Oklahoma." I said, "But he's 6'4", and he's slow. And he's a baseball player. He's an all-American baseball player." And he goes, "What does that have to do with anything?" I said, "Well, here's what it has to do with." I said, "You're going to bring him in camp. He's not going to be able to guard you. He's going to find out right away that the NBA is way over his head, and he has an alternative to play pro baseball." Which he did.
Wouldn't you know?
You know, he's since passed away, by the way, this kid.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, this kid passed away.
2023.
But anyway, he made it to the major leagues with the Baltimore Orioles. I said, he has something to fall back on. He's going to realize he's way outclassed, and he can't guard perimeter players in the NBA. He said, "All right, go on." And I go, "Mark Henderson can't play either. He's big. He's 6'10". He's going to get a cup of coffee in the NBA, but he's too slow to play in the NBA. And Jamie Fike is in the same category." I said, all 3 of them are never going to play in the NBA. And he got mad at me.
Told him the truth, Mike.
I told him the truth.
You did.
And he's like in his head, I can see what he's thinking. He goes, "This punk journalist is coming in to tell me about my business."
And yet.
But I was right on all 3 of them.
Yeah, Hendrickson, cup of coffee.
Hendrickson, by the way, was also a baseball player who wound up pitching in the major leagues.
Jeez, what was his deal with the baseball and basketball crossover?
I don't know. I said, but these guys that have an option are going to say baseball is easier, way easier for me than this league.
Wow, and he had a lengthy career.
He did. He played when he played with the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays,
Yeah.
Dodgers, Marlins.
Yeah, he pitched for a lot of years in the big leagues because he was 6'10".
Wow.
And he had a good arm. Oh, Jamie Fike, he was just a waste.
That's
He
insane.
could play a little bit.
I also found out Ryan Miner, Atlantic City Surf legend.
He played for the Surf?
He did.
Yeah, see, baseball didn't go that well, but he did make it to the major leagues with the Orioles, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He made it to
Yeah.
the major leagues with the Orioles. I wonder if Ricky came across one of these guys.
Ricky probably faced him. Ryan Miner?
Career, yeah.
He probably knew of Hendrickson.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to anyway, was that out of line for me to do that?
No. He asked you what you thought of the draft. What are you going to
No, he crowed about the draft.
Oh, okay.
He didn't really ask me what I thought. He crowed. He goes, no, he said, "Yeah, don't you like what we did?" And I go, Iverson's a no-brainer. I said, but you wasted the whole second round. He
Yeah.
looked at me like I had three heads. So I just was being honest with him.
Malik Rose in that second round.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
There you go. He was probably the jewel of that second round.
Yeah, he was. He ended up playing the most of.
Yeah, two guys that wound up playing professional baseball that he drafted.
Mark Pope was in that second round.
There you go. All right, let's go to Bo in Wilmington. Bo, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Bo.
Hey, I appreciate you guys taking my call.
What's going on, Bo?
Hey, so I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee. You could probably hear it in the accent a little bit. I moved up to the Philadelphia area at the end of 2017, but you triggered a memory with the heckling that I wanted to share.
Okay, go ahead.
I guess it was back around my senior year in high school, 96, 97 in August, when when Tennessee first got the Oilers.
Mm-hmm.
And so me and my buddies, it's been 12 years since I drank, but when I used to drink, that's when we would heckle the hell out of people at games. But so the Saints had come to play the Oilers at the Liberty Bowl Stadium in Memphis.
Uh-huh.
And me and my buddies brought enough whiskey in there to get an elephant drunk. And we sat on and it was a preseason game, and Memphis hated the Oilers because they were going to Nashville anyways. They were just playing some games at the Liberty Bowl Stadium. And so we got seats right on the first row behind the Saints bench. I think it was Mike Ditka's very first year with the Saints.
Uh-huh.
And so, I had the SNL skit in my head, and the whole first half, I was just screaming, Ditka!
I see. That's kind of clever. That's kind of clever. You did the Saturday Night Live thing with the Chicago superfans.
Yeah.
I like it.
The Saints, Ditka! And there was nothing from him. But as he left for halftime, he kind of gave me the side eye as he was leaving to go into for the half. And when he came back out in the second half, there I go again. And finally, after about 2 minutes into the second half, he turned around, looked me dead in the face, leaned in, and just gave this big rainbow wave. Please, shut up.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
You got to him. See, that's not really a heckle. You're going Ditka because you're doing the Saturday Night Live kind of parody. Like, if you would have said, Ditka, your mother's an elephant, that's heckling him. You know?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah. All right. That's a good story, Bo. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys.
All right. There he is.
Y'all have a good day.
Well, we brought enough whiskey to an elephant drunk. I like that.
Something about that accent talked about drinking just is perfect.
I'm from Tennessee originally.
Should have asked him if he'd like the Luke Bryan tickets tomorrow. He can call back tomorrow, Bo.
Yeah, call back tomorrow for some tickets to Luke Bryan. What's the deepest Southern accent? Would it be Mississippi?
Probably.
Alabama?
Alabama.
Is it Alabama?
When I went down for a Bama game against Middle Tennessee State a couple of years ago, it was a long, long draw on most of the words that they had.
Yeah. I got nephews that are Alabamians.
You said there's Missanellis running around.
Missanelli's in Alabama.
Yeah, that's
that's interesting.
Yeah, you get down to visit them?
I haven't been down there. They've come up.
Yeah,
but I have not been down. Other members of my family have been down there.
Italian with a strong draw.
Yeah, my niece doesn't have that accent, but my nephew Justin has it. He's got.
How do you pick it up? Like
it's Missanelli. Living in the South for all those years, man. Like he's been down there for a really long time. Like he was born up here, but then they are now Alabama for most of their life. So yeah, he got a draw.
I'm always intrigued as to how that happens. Like how you end up, like if you're young, I understand just like the way you learn to speak. It's just kind of the people around you. But like if you move, I always think it's like Brian Kelly all of a sudden had a Southern accent when he got the LSU job.
Yeah, you pick it up. It's amazing. Like when you go down there for a while and you hear other people talk, you try to talk like them, like to be accepted almost.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's weird.
Yeah, I don't think I'd pick it up. I spent a summer in North Carolina. I was fine without this Southern accent.
My nephew picked up some bad Southern habits, like throwing peanut shells over my deck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's built-in. They're biodegradable.
Oh.
You know how they eat those boiled peanuts?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I love those boiled peanuts, man. They're soft-shelled.
Yeah, but it's
But my man is at my shore house on my deck, and he's
the shore house.
Yeah, he's eating the peanuts, and he's throwing them over the deck. I go, Holmes, what's up? You ain't in Alabama anymore.
Yeah,
what's up? What are you doing? 610-632-0975. Go down there and pick them up. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Connor Thomas.
Uh, 139, Mike Missanelli Show, coming down the home stretch, and you want to climb in at 610-622-0975. An interesting story that I read about from the media, Andrew Marchand from The Athletic, who I work with Andrew up there in New York. He was like a guest commentator every now and then. But he
Would he
covers.
be on Mike Miss Radio?
Yeah, Andrew Marchand might be, because he has that media thing down.
He does. Nobody does that beat like he does that
he's
beat.
all over the media, and he always has the scoops on it. And he is saying that the NBA Finals, which ESPN has, right?
Right.
They are not satisfied. They might not be satisfied with the team they currently have. Like they're all that Breen Mike Breen has not really blended that well with Doris Burke, and that Richard Jefferson is the only one who's under contract currently.
Oh, so Doris Burke could be in trouble in general.
Yes.
Or is she going to go back
here
to
it
a
is.
two-team? Or
It says ESPN intends on re-signing Jefferson, but it has not locked him up yet. And Amazon Prime has expressed some interest in him. Burke's spot is not guaranteed for next season, according to sources familiar with ESPN's preliminary plans. But Breen will be back there. So we're talking about the two analysts. So let me get your opinion of, because they had, which I thought was a good team, and they blew it up.
Right.
With Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy.
Yes. That you never knew where that was going.
Right. But Breen had a good time, and he knew exactly how to handle those guys. I thought it was really smooth broadcasting. This one, they changed it to, well, they tried Doc, and that blew up, and they tried J.J. Redick, and that blew up because both of them had coaching aspirations. So this one's kind of like a makeshift team with Doris Burke and Richard Jefferson. So how would you grade that team, right?
And that's kind of the way it feels when they're together. Like, you almost feel like Doris Burke's waiting for Richard Jefferson to jump in and say something. Richard Jefferson's waiting to see if there's something that she's going to get to. Mike Breen's trying to get to the accent and trying to work them in, but it does feel like there's a lack of cohesion within the way
here's
they work
the thing
together.
I look at. They're not fun to listen to. There's no fun that comes out of them.
Well, yeah,
there's no blend, there's no fun, there's no laughing, there's no jokes. Doris Burke has no sense of humor whatsoever.
I think she's also trying to force some of that humor. Like, we had the what was the joke during the Western Conference Finals, the World War II joke that she tried to make that did not land.
No, she's awkward.
I was like, I don't know if there's the feeling like we have to be team one and we have to deliver X in terms of like entertainment value, but like I don't think the three of them as a group have gelled on the air the way that you would expect a number one team to.
No. Now, this is a big spot for this team, right?
Right.
The NBA Finals. I don't know how many people will actually watch the NBA Finals, but this is still a big spot. They're on the big spotlight here.
I'm repping the association today.
You got the association. Look at that. What is that?
shirt.
Like a retro shirt?
Yeah. $15 Target. Not bad.
$15 at Target.
It's great. I'll be honest, I do walk through there. I walk through there every once in a while, just peek. See
You
if they
buy
got
clothes at Target every now and
a
then?
little graphic tee action? Yeah, absolutely.
How about you, Austin? You buy clothes at Target?
Yeah, of course.
Do you?
Target's got some good deals from time to time.
Really?
Yeah. Check it out.
What Target's your Target?
Mine is the one right off of Columbus, across from the Acme.
Okay. Yeah, not the one I guess. He doesn't live too far from me.
Right around the corner,
Yeah.
essentially.
The only thing I've ever bought there is a pair of socks.
Can't go wrong with that. Always need some socks.
Yeah, no, that seems like a sensible purchase. No, I'll be honest.
Socks.
Listen, I'm not.
I can't go. It's just like me buying jarred sauce.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm not walking
I
fashion
can't,
week.
I can't buy anything in Target, clothing in Target.
What?
No,
Are you anti this shirt? You can say it, Mike. I won't be offended. Say
That
it.
shirt is the anti-Bill shirt because it's baggy.
All of my clothing is baggy. It's very hard to wear tight-fitting shirts when I am this size.
The anti-Bill shirt you have on today.
I wanted to make sure it was a new era. Baggy clothes only in this chair.
For anybody who watches the NBA, pays attention to the broadcasters, give me your opinion on that. Now, they are considering a couple of newbies. One of them, the newbies they're considering, is our own Tim Legler.
I'm in on that.
You like Timmy?
Yes. I think some of the best ESPN basketball conversation they have is Legler at night after a big game with SVP.
Well, but see, I love him. He's a friend. He's very overly analytical, and I'm not so sure in a broadcast like that. Like I haven't seen the bounce yet with Timmy. You know.
But
now Jay Billis, I can't stand. But he's one of the guys that's involved. And Corey Alexander's not bad, but he's not of that lofty quality where you can stick him on an NBA telecast.
I'm curious for you though. Do you think Breen could pull that out of Tim Legler?
I'm not so sure. I don't know if Tim is an overly funny guy. like I've hung out with him. He's a great guy. Don't get me wrong. But does he have the sense of humor to be offbeat and to be self-deprecating and stuff like that? I don't know.
The more I think about it, yeah. But I think for them also, you're going to, like, we talked about this week with the Inside the NBA programming and how they're going to do it, which apparently they're not taking a lot of changes to it, that they're going to give them that space. If he's not getting that SVP time, they're probably going to have to restructure what his role at the company looks like.
True.
So I think he'd probably be in line for more opportunities. But like you said, you've had the pleasure of hanging around him. I haven't. I've had the pleasure of, the way I judge a lot of the guests we have here on the air is how they conduct themselves in the 1 minute between them answering the phone, me telling them they're going to be talking to whatever host, and closing up. He's a very business,
Yeah.
He takes.
He is. He's, he sticks to the topic.
Hey, Tim, how are you?
Yeah.
Good. All right.
Yeah, here's what they did on this. They ran double action of it.
Yeah.
No, I've hung out with him several times in the Princeton in Avalon.
Oh, the Princeton.
He's a major shore man.
Is he?
He's a shoreman.
I make one trek to the Princeton a summer.
Oh, you do?
Because I'm a Wildwood guy.
Oh,
it's nothing against the Princeton. It's just that I know that one of my friends is always down there for 1 week, so that would be the 1 week I take.
Did you ever hang at the Whitebriar?
I never got to the Whitebriar.
No,
never did.
Now you can't.
Now I can't. Yeah, that's a
walk
little too classy
too lofty for you.
Yeah, maybe someday. Here's to hoping.
Okay. Yeah, you could be a member. Could be a Union Club member soon.
Yeah,
all right,
soon.
Let's go back to the text board. What do we have on the text board, Austin?
We still have people chiming in on the whole play situation.
Okay, that's Sixer Daryl Morey's the new musical. We're trying to create roles for various people.
Yeah, so until Daryl Morey builds an actual championship contender, he's just an average executive who produces musicals like Bull Durham. When you win 20 in the show, you can let the fungus grow back on your shower shoes, and the press will call you colorful.
There you go.
That's the best comparison you could draw right there.
Yeah.
And he won. They won 50 games.
We would think that it was charming.
I don't know
what he's doing.
If they had gone out in the second round again, I don't know if we would. I don't know how we'd feel about that.
I hear you. What else you got, Austin?
Going to the heckler conversation from earlier, I don't know if anyone hated being heckled more in Philly than Isaiah Thomas during the Frosty Freeze-Out in 2019.
Oh, that was when he yelled at the fan, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Wait. I don't remember this. What was this?
There was a fan yelling at Isaiah Thomas because he wanted a Frosty, because if you missed the free throws, you would get the free Frosty. And then he did the post-game interview where he said, the fan said all he wanted was a Frosty, and he sounded very sad. This is when he was on the Wizards at the time.
He went and confronted the fan. I remember this now. In that post-game, he was wearing a Sixers jersey in that post-game.
Either Iverson or Dr. J. He was wearing a throwback.
It was odd.
Wait, who? This was Isaiah Thomas?
Not the Isaiah Thomas. Remember the short
Celtics.
The little Isaiah Thomas. Okay.
The Isaiah Thomas that once
left-hander.
a month put claims that he should be in the NBA, even though he hasn't been in the NBA in 5 years.
I got it.
That Isaiah Thomas.
Yes.
Okay. He was livid about the whole. Well, not livid at postgame, but it looked like it in the moment. He's going to talk to a fan. I was like, "What's this guy doing talking to a fan?"
Wow. Okay.
All right,
that's a pretty good one. Now I remember it. All right, give me one more, and then Ray's going to give me this pizza topping.
All right, going back to the jar gravy in a jar conversation.
Yeah.
The texter just said, Mike, you were never over a friend's house and had spaghetti with a jar sauce?
No, I never have. I never have done that, because I would never go over my friend's house if I knew they were serving spaghetti, if they were Medigans. Really, it's just an Italian thing. You don't you're reluctant to eat someone else's meatballs if you're an Italian. But if you go over and a non-Italian family and they're serving jar sauce, you know ahead of time that that's not going to work. Now, is that weird?
Not specific to you. I don't find it weird. For me,
here's my experience with jar sauce. I lived with 5 other guys my junior year in college, and so each guy had to cook 1 day a week. So a couple of my roommates tried to get away with the jar sauce thing. That's why I am loath to it, because I did try it one time. And then that was it.
Okay, so that was the only time you ever went.
And as a matter of fact, it was ragu.
It was?
Yes.
Oh.
It was ragu.
See?
Now, back then, ragu was one of the few sauces that were on the market. Now you got a plethora. And I got this for you. Like, some of the good brand, like the Rayo brand, everybody, the Rayo brand's good. But the Rayo brand's conning you, too. Because when you mass-produce sauce, you can't possibly make sauce or gravy that takes time. The mass-produced ones are just squished tomatoes with a couple spices thrown in. They're not brewed. You got to brew a sauce.
Did you put the plate in the trash and do the turnover on it so they didn't get their feelings hurt?
No, I said, listen, fellas, I'm out. When you guys went to go Medigan jar sauce, I'm out tonight. I do not dine with you.
What night did you have?
I was good, man. I cooked all my life, so they would look forward to me cooking. No matter what it was. We would plan our meals and we would shop accordingly.
It's good.
We had a good system down.
I did not.
We lived with 5 other guys. There was 6 in a big townhouse. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, we had 6 in my apartment. Yeah, we had 6.
That's tough.
I could tell you that there was not nightly cooking. We were
Yeah,
lucky if
really?
there was a night where it was
not in our household
See, that's
either.
the way we saved money. It's the way we organized things. Like, everybody had a responsibility. And then Saturday was free. Saturday was freed up. So we had 6 days a week. Like, sometimes you got the Sunday. We picked cards.
Oh, that's nice. That's a
you
good,
got Tuesday.
good structure. I might take that home with that idea home tonight.
Yeah, I'm my good friend Michael used to make the same dish every single time. It was called peekaboo stew, and it was it was like a lasagna glass cooker thing, and it was chunks of beef, and he put like Lipton's dry onion soup over it, and it would cook for like the entire day at like a low temperature. And by the time dinner was ready, it would be stew the meat was tender.
Huh. Good, bad, indifferent?
It wasn't bad, actually.
Wasn't bad.
You put it over rice, you put it over mashed potatoes, whatever we did.
It worked out.
It worked. All right, what else we got today? Anything else? You got anything on your mind, Ray? Anything
I
left
can
over?
give you the quick blind rankings of the.
Give me the pizza
All right.
rankings. All right, what do you got?
We'll start with pepperoni.
3.
All right. Sausage.
1.
Ooh, I need that. Chicken.
Jeez. 5.
Bacon.
I'll put chicken on my pizza. 4.
Pineapple.
Oh, God. you guys waiting for mushroom to come in here. I had mushroom saved for number 2. You tricked me.
I did.
That's not fair.
There. I'll give you another one here.
All right, give me another one. Go
Philly
ahead.
sports category here.
Philly sports.
All right. Embiid.
Embiid. 3.
Aaron Nola.
4.
AJ Brown.
1.
Ryan Howard.
2.
Oh, you Claude Giroux.
5. I slayed it.
You did.
That's perfect.
I was trying to trap you into a hockey guy being number 1.
I slayed it.
Oh, that was impressive. I was waiting. I've had this sitting here since we did the first 5. I was like, you know what would be great? If I put a flyer at the end. There's no way. If he had a flyer at 1.
You put Let's see.
You outsmarted me.
You were saying that if you would put a flyer for, I would have gone 5 right away. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the way it worked out. I saved my 5.
You did, yeah.
For the
That was
flyer.
good. That was good by you.
All right. The
You picked up
Phillies,
that I was trying to catch you.
the Phillies tonight, and it's Barrios against Mick Abel. And I got to be honest with you, I'm going to admit a violation here.
Oh no! Don't do it, Mike. I'm telling you, please don't do it.
I did it.
Oh no!
I bet the Blue Jays tonight.
Ah,
I'm sorry. I had to do it, man. This is just like the Gabby Thomas situation. Your pocketbook is the most important thing.
you're going to heckle Mick Abel.
No, I'm not
We'll
going to
get you in the helicopter with Johan.
I don't wish any ill will on the kid. I just think the second time out, they got a little bit of a book on him, and I think Barrios is a pretty tough pitcher, and the Phillies scored some runs and got some hits last night. I think they'll be a little drier tonight, and I think Mick Abel will have problems getting to 5 innings.
Now we'll get Johan Rojas to pick you up in the helicopter. You fly up there to Toronto tonight. You'll heckle Abel so you get your money.
Yeah, all right. Well, I hate to do it, but again, it's nothing personal. I always root for the Phillies to win, but my hunch tonight is that the Toronto Blue Jays will win this game.
I'm going to go bet on the Phillies.
All right, go ahead. Knock yourself out. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We had a lot of fun today. First day without Bill, who's walking around as like a big star now. He's getting written about. He's getting quoted. He's recording all these promos. Good for him. Congratulations, Bill. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.